This afternoon. Welcome in, guys. 15 minutes to go, or just under 15 minutes to go here. We'll get the last, if you can believe it, last FOMC decision here for 2024. What a year it's been. We started off expecting a massive amount of cuts throughout the entire year. We end up getting a few, but nowhere near what they had projected initially. Yeah, there it is right now. 98.6% chance of 25 basis points coming off. So I don't think we're going to get a unexpected pause. That would be exciting, though, for the overall market. Overall market itself, dead flat, 0.1% right now, back and forth all day long. We're basically where we ended at the end of the session yesterday. A couple things of note here. The U.S. dollar was higher to start things off today. We've come back in a little bit. We took out the highs for the past 3 days. Come back in a little bit ahead of this. That's the DXY. If you go over to some of the yields, still moving around, same kind of price action throughout the entire day ahead of this. For all of the yields, 2-year, 3-year, even the 10-year here started higher. We're back downside right now. So what a move these things have had as well. Not only in the past 2 weeks here, but since October, it's been straight upside from 3.7 to basically 4.5 was the high, chopping around 4.4 right now ahead of this latest decision. Everyone expecting that all things Trump coming up in the new year going to be a little bit inflationary for the economy going forward. So yeah, that's December. If you go out to, I'll zoom out on this. If we go out to January, it's going to look a little bit different as far as, that's June, not January. There's January. 78.8% on a hold right now. So better part of 80% on a hold going out to January. 98, we'll call it, % chance that we're going to get 25 basis points here this afternoon. Quick update here with the guys, and we'll get back over here before we get any kind of Powell nonsense going on.
Welcome, everybody. To Kyle Burdett's point, if they don't cut, probably going to be the easiest. Just punch short.
That might be a problem.
Something, and you should be okay.
But does that just maybe mean that they're not cutting because everything's so strong?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that would be the reason.
Job market here.
That's why That's why everyone believes that they will pause after this.
But I think the market will tank.
I think we know what's happening in the next 12 minutes. That said, remember the name of the game. If it's the first time here, you're in the right spot. Market's going to have that initial reaction. I like the rubber band trade because you're going to get what's expected. Rubber band trade meaning if you like a strong stock, buy a dip off of first support, things like Apple, VWAP. When the market came down, Apple basically broke the highs. If they want to sell that stock, I think that's a good one to be looking for some buys in. Tesla not as strong as it was before. Nvidia is still holding up pretty well. But then when 230 hits, Powell gets on the podium, you get some Q&A, and then we look for a more defined direction. But I think at first, I want to look for the dip buy in strong stocks. It's pretty much that simple. The only things I'm in right now are, as you can see, the GameStop and AMC. GameStop didn't break the high, so we shorted AMC off the top, and then when GameStop got to VWAP, kind of bought that one. I'm just sort of sitting in them in both. GameStop's they're both slightly in the money, but it's Apple, Tesla, and Nvidia are the 3 names that I will be watching. And I think we're going to get as expected, and you want to be patient. Don't try to fight the trend after it develops at 230.
All right. Okay. Our newest position is short Roblox. We're short Roblox here with 1.5% or 1.15% to the downside. So short weak names. I'm not expecting too much of a move. I think it's been, obviously we talk about something that's 97, 98% expected. So the move is going to be what it is. I'm just light on most of these. We had refreshed. I mean, that's a great. We weren't here. We're at the gym, and then it came back in, and we bought VWAP again there on Nvidia, and welcome to the jungle there one more time. So that was a good trade back in for Nvidia as it's trying to go a little bit higher here as well. I don't, I think that the biggest mover could be right here if we're going to look at a little bit of crypto coming through. We talked about that, on cuts. This tends to be bullish, so we do have some levels to look at for IBIT, and we'll be overall all over that. I was just looking at Bitcoin in general. We talked about trying to be short potentially here, Bitcoin, because we're under the 200 period rate here on the 15-minute chart. But, heading into now, what is sort of a news-related event, this could easily break. And I think when it does, that it's go time back there to the upside. So $106,000 there for Bitcoin is basically that level. So that's what I'm looking for to break through. If that can happen, great. I think we'll take that long and watch IBIT. So right now there's 9 minutes to go. It's relatively calm. Thank you for being here. We'll put on some trades. I'm holding the trades that I'm in. Like and subscribe so you don't forget about this for next time. The dollar could move, a little bit of TLT action. You can look at some gold as well. Wow, TLT's all the way down to $90. I got to talk to our guy Raider Trader about this one. Nice fade on that. Thing is like when you talk to traders, like I don't know if they're out or what. So that's why you got to get people's opinions back in here into $90 on the 20-year Treasury. So that's a thing. And then GLD, if you're looking to trade some gold names, we'll be running through all of these to see where we're at a couple minutes in. But everything's as expected. Yeah.
There's a question on Palantir directed at you. I know you're wearing the Palantir hat. Yeah. That's why. Oh, who just had it?
There's a board member hat.
It was from Miss Lucia. Miss Lucia, are you from St. Lucia? Just curiosity. I love the islands, but are you taking the Palantir 77.90 break?
It's up.
Did you mean 77.50? That's the first question because the triple top is actually at 77.5. I don't know. Maybe you just mean this level up here. This break from these highs on Palantir. But I think this is look. You want to, for me, anything that's setting up strong and has been clearly strong today in the growth sense. Those are the names I want to look for long. So if it's at the highs right now, I think those are things I like. Personally, I like Apple. It actually made a bit of a high break. And if it even sniffs VWAP or we get a good dip buy, I like it. But Palantir, very strong today. Another day, another dip buy.
This is the only mark on our trading today is Palantir, and it's not even a mark. It's a flat mark, but this is the only one that we don't have today. So unfortunately, these are all shorts in this rip. So we were like, we basically shorted the top the first time that came through and then got it back in. That was $1 right there immediately. But then all of a sudden, it started going back up. We tried twice and broke our back both times. And then right now, yes. I mean, this looks perfect. Stock up, market up. But again, it's just we know it's a rate cut. So I think you just keep trading the way you think. And right now, you got to like the stock. Bounce off the 200, bounce off the 200, now holding the 50-period moving average. But there's the 200 now. So you're wrong at 76.50. So you think it's worth $1 risk? I think it is, up to $80. Why not? Good call there on PLTR. And by the way, here comes Roblox. Hopefully to the downside right now. We just got a little piece out there at 60. If we can drop back through 50, I like this trade to the short side. But again, just getting lighter and lighter with only 7 minutes to go. So Brendan will have it there. We'll have it in our ear. He'll have it up there. We'll talk a little bit about it. If Sharif has any ideas, Brennan has any ideas, they'll come with those. But for right now, just waiting.
Nuke just halted down.
Nuke halted down. I saw someone talk about that on the chat.
Oh, this could be interesting.
$60. So cap is 55.
Yeah, the last time it halted down, it immediately made a fresh high. But this is a bit of a different one. Like this is a topping tail candle on Nuke. NUKK over here on the NASDAQ. And as Sean said, the tap is at 55, which is a slight open to the downside. I do see in here, we got a super chat. Thank you, Fugazi Bear. It says, Neil, here's your commission for the Starbucks short. For that $2, we'll have to get Obi a coffee. The lesson of the day, we talked about continuation trades, but specifically Starbucks was something that Obi was mentioning this morning. I was talking about Marvell, so shout out to the Obi-Wan Kenobi. He'll be on tomorrow. Thank you for that super chat. And just to go over like this Nuke stock, if you're looking at some things that may or may not move with the markets, if you just want to follow along with the markets and might want to trade some things in a momentum phase, you can look at a bunch of small caps that have been running today, Nuke being one of them, NUKK. GME obviously has been done a bit of a move. It's not that they will never follow the market. It's just that you don't have to be as overly concerned with the twists and the turns and the SPY on something like this or a GME. So you can always look at them, but the tap is now flat. It was indicating $2 down. Now it's indicating an open pretty much right here at 57. I suspect when it opens, it's going to halt rather quickly because that's been the pattern. We're going back to that.
We can't. I'm getting out more Roblox here as it's coming back in. This is actually going to go straight up. Like I traded Micron all day here right now, and it looks like because we put on some more shares, looks like Roblox is just going to, it's kind of get up there to the top there. And the reason why we shorted it was just against this $60.80 mark. So that was the Roblox trade. I don't really have too much else to say. What we're going to be looking for is, hawkish versus dovish. Are they going to be talking, positively here about the forward look? I want to hear what they're talking about with possible policy changes with Donald Trump. Does he expect? And again, it's going to come in the Q&A. So what we'll do is we'll read through the transcripts. Brendan will see what strike through, what's been there from last time, what's been there this forward time, new stuff, early stuff. That's the kind of stuff that we're looking for. But let's go back over to the desk and we'll get some opinions before the number in 3 minutes.
All right, we're very excited because we're going to get these economic projections for the last time in 2024 as well. So stand by for that. I was just going through some of what happened last time and then what they're forecasting this time. And it's all been revised to the upside. So all of the forecasts, right from 3 years all the way out to their longer is the last one that they come through with, are all revised to the upside. So for example, 3 years last time actually was 2.875. The forecast right now is for 3.125. And then you go out to the longer run was at 2.875, and they revised that up to 3%. So as you and I were just saying, I mean, it's kind of expected here that, that's the case. Yep. Things haven't been as rosy as they once were.
No, and Powell, this article that I was reading today by CNBC, Powell expected to stress caution and address basically upcoming economic uncertainties. We've been talking about this hawkish cut. So even with the easing, the Fed may signal that inflation forecast may be a little bit higher than expected. And the Fed may raise, Brendo, some people are saying, its estimate for the neutral rate above 3%. That is a distinct possibility. So we're all going to have to wait and exactly see what he says, especially with Donald Trump coming in and completely changing the economic landscape.
Yeah. If you are new to this event or seeing it for the first time possibly, especially with this one, with these projections coming out and so much depending on what's going to happen next year with the new administration, as Sharif was mentioning, it's worth noting that we could see, back and forth kind of price action, a lot of volatility initially until some of this data is digested. Again, it may depend more on these projections than the actual rate. It will depend more on these projections than the actual rate decision. Just a quick look at my screen here. I'll give everyone a rundown of what's actually going to happen. If it's kind of tough to see, but this is the forecast right now, 4.5, which would be a quarter point. 4.75 is the current and the previous. So if we see 4.5 here, it's exactly what everyone's expecting. 4.5, and then these are all these projections that I was talking about. Again, the previous you see here, we'll get the new ones coming out here. The forecast, as I was just talking about, all to the upside. So all 5 of those are forecast to be higher than the last time, which is key. And then obviously 2:30, we'll hear from Fed Chair Powell with this press conference coming up. I'm projecting, I'll just throw this out here, 90+% of the questions will be Trump related.
100%. Yeah, I was going to echo that sentiment completely. They're going to ask him, hey, what's different with this? Oh, what if Donald Trump, if he brings in foreign investment, does that help stimulate the dollar? We've heard Donald Trump say he doesn't want a high U.S. dollar. He may not have that choice, especially if the economy starts picking up. They're growing at 3%, so that's markedly higher than we're growing here, sub 1%. They're doing the best in the G7, Brendo. So there's a lot of tailwinds here to help with inflation.
Yeah, if you're just joining, we were talking about the dollar. We were talking about some of these yields to kick this off this afternoon. All back to the upside. It's worth noting, I was just hearing that, there's the dollar. This is a daily chart, but we're starting to tick higher here through 107 once again for the U.S. dollar. Yields back to the upside as well. We are about 10 seconds away here, guys. Again, if we are getting what we're expecting, it's a 25 basis point cut. So you'll see 4.5 populate right here, which is exactly the same as the forecast. So 4.5. So a quarter point cut comes through there. This page not updating right away, but I'm hearing in my ear here, a quarter point cut as expected. So the 2-year actual 3.375 is higher than the forecast 3.125. The longer term forecast 3%, comes out in line at 3%. Looks like most of these in line with what was expected here. The actual next year median forecast, you were just talking about this, 3.875, and that's higher than the 3.625 was expected there, guys. As expected, we get a quarter point cut.
All right, so yeah, we were able to take a little bit of advantage there. We didn't do too much. So I got out of things as it was coming. So we have no more Micron right now. We're out of that. We take advantage of a little bit of a dip down there in Roblox, so that's a winner. Square we got out of again at the top, just holding a small piece. And then we were able to pick up something on Nvidia a little bit right now. So we're just picking up some longs. I want to try to watch out for this 134 area because everything's as expected. When we see more things coming through, we'll get it. But there it is. It's your quarter point cut. So I'm going to use this until 133.50 break, which is right back into there on the pre-market lows. So if we could break there, then I'm going to get out 133.50. Until then, we'll slow down obviously, and we'll wait to see if we can pick something up near 134 on Nvidia. But right now the market, not liking this. So I think you buy these dips, but let's just wait.
Expected. Yeah, like it's what everyone expected. The ES just went red. The NASDAQ was already red. I mean, Apple pulls into higher low support, so I'm into this. Like Sean, I mean, I got out of some stuff that I was in. I think it makes some sense, like on that spike down into the low of the day. I'm covering some AMC into the low of the day. But Apple just continues to, it's holding strength. Like the fact that Apple is holding a higher low, I like that. And so if the ES and the NASDAQ, I'm just going to show you guys the NASDAQ, come right into the morning lows and bounce, the dip buy opportunity in anything that's strong. If it's above VWAP, that's great. I'm willing to bet you Palantir, which we were just talking about. Palantir, there you go. Strong stock, dip, it's above VWAP, it's right back into those highs. So you go for the dip buy and then let it fly. Actually, that Palantir would have been even better than Apple, which is going to try and get back to its, actually, all-time highs. I almost said high of the day, but you know what? In this market, give a stock respect. When it goes to an all-time high, we're going to call it the all-time high. Palantir probably going to take the high, it looks like, any second now as well.
All right, I mean, hit me right now. Yes, sir, there it is right there. Yeah, nice move. So apparently it was one Fed official seeing no cuts next year. I guess one of 19.
None.
We're going to come up with this in a minute. Brendan's going to get it all loaded up here as I watch the Benzinga platform. But there's the buy there at 135. We did a little bit of buy, a little bit of an out right there, back up to the upside. We're clearing out a Roblox. It's been a great one. I'm looking at the net. We're at the highs of the day for myself right here. So far, so good here. Square trying to go as well. We'll see if we can get back upside as we did buy a little bit of that dip. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, it's exactly a revision from 3 down to 2 in some cases. I even saw 4 down to 3, but 2 cuts versus potentially 3 next year, and then 2 cuts going out to 26 as well, which is less than expected. Dollars popping here, it's worth noting, just taking out the highs.
Oh no.
The dollar going up. We're heading right back into these lows. So the next dip buy, I think, is going to be a crucial one. Can you hold on to VWAP? Can the ES hold on to those lows? I feel like I should have had something for a short idea, but I wasn't enamored with anything setting up for the short, with one notable exception. That was Marvell at VWAP. And I think that might have been an opportunity for us here, an opportunity missed. I'm going to keep eyes on this. This is a stock that we shorted one time here off of VWAP, and it's done it twice. If we do continue trend down, this would be the one name, obviously, with the exception of AMC, which we're already sitting in. That's just a counter trade against GameStop. But Marvell at VWAP would be the one short that I have eyeballs on. Till then, want to just keep it in the pocket here. We'll see if we get a bounce off of VWAP. 253 is VWAP on Apple. I almost said AMD, but that's the only thing I'm watching. And a little bit of Tesla. Tesla, I thought you'd play into 470. As the market's coming down here, Tesla holding above VWAP. So there was an initial dip, the last dip, and Tesla is not participating. Almost every single day, there's been a buy program at some point in the afternoon on Tesla. I want to look out for that. I was kind of thinking in the last hour after Powell's off the podium, but Tesla's already showing some signs of being strong here that I want to show some respect to. And then Trey only just said Starbucks short. I'm biased, I guess, short side on Starbucks because of the continuation play, but that's not a name that I have traded today, nor I'm looking at it. And as I say, Tesla is trying to hold on to strength. Now here it comes back in. So you want to be patient, play off of some support levels, see where we're going. The ES and the NASDAQ are both trying to bounce off some of those highs. And I think you want to be patient with your entry points. If you like VWAP, let it get to VWAP for any reloads.
All right, so we're getting more fills here on Roblox as it continues to come to the downside. So good trade there, market making lows. So let's just have a quick look here at the NASDAQ in general. We'll watch the ES as well. So here's the NASDAQ making these lows right now. You still have a gap filled down to 22.1. So I think that's probably where we're going. We'll have to wait to see when Powell comes back through on the podium at 2:30 for some questions. But right now, a nice little move down. It's a 30-minute chart on the NASDAQ. So nice move back in. And if you're looking at a daily chart, it's not good. Over 7,000 of you right now watching. Please hit the like and the subscribe. Only 300 of you right now. 7,200 watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe right now. We just got in and out of something, but we're going to go to Brendan and get some more information.
Real quick, guys, this is the statement. We do this every time. I mean, there's zero change on this. I mean, it was just exactly what I was saying. The amount of cuts going into next year and the amount of cuts going into 2026 were changed down. Otherwise, there's really absolutely nothing different in the statement other than there was one dissent from voting.
Have you seen the the Russell just went red and is, I mean,
Yeah.
clearly it's the biggest move here, the reaction of the Russell going down into the lows of the day. It's attempting a bounce, but it's not really doing a very good job of it as it is cratering. Quickly, what? GameStop didn't. Okay, GameStop hasn't trailed me out. This is holding VWAP. So I like VWAP on GameStop. I think this is a little bit different. Hopefully it doesn't care what the market is doing. Apple is going to care. And it just got right into VWAP and it's trying to hold on to support there. I don't know if it's going to. We're going to be out of this if it loses 250. There it goes. It just lost a bid. From here, the next stop would be the low of the day to look for a bounce play. I am looking for a bounce. Don't know if we're going to get it. While that was happening, I'm assuming, yeah, AMC just hit the low of the day. So we get it back on AMC, but we were holding this short. Did not have a short idea that I liked that was setting up for us very well, and I don't want to short anything at the bottom. Now I'm just going to go back to the names that we wanted, and it'll be Apple. If we lose VWAP, we'll try to get in 251, wait for that low of the day, or a curl here where we can get back in. Still plenty of time. Powell doesn't hit the podium for another 20 minutes or so, so I don't want to fight the move. I want to look for the next support level. Just got to wait for it. Brendo?
Just real quick, guys. I mean, it's obvious if you look at anything at this point, but this is the VIX right now. Just took out $16. So context, $16. Very low still, but spiking to the upside right now.
You guys were asking for trade ideas. We gave you the VIX at, approaching that 1250 marker, 13. So that was a great call on the VIX. So thanks, Brendan, for bringing that one up. And oh boy, here we go, man. We just bought some bit dips now in Nvidia. We just did miss that 134.20 area, which kind of sucks. We were at 25. It didn't get that low. So right now we'll sit on our hands a little bit and watch out what's happening right now. Let's go upside. All right. So, and here comes a big time winner, right? This goes right up. This is actually now going to be P&L number 2 now today, Roblox. So wow, what a trade that's turned out to be with the market coming back in. I mean, you had to be short something into this. Well, you didn't have to be, but if you were, it worked. There goes the short now there for Roblox. And again, it's just about picking the right name. Even before this happened, remember like where we were getting out. Like here's our outs on Micron before this move. So saved, right? Here's our outs on Square before the move. Happened to get back in a little bit there. All right, so now here we go. Now we're really starting to fade out. So here comes Nvidia. Now we talked about where we like this name. Down at that 133.50 is going to be our out. So now we got to wait to see. We're now long 134.35 now on Nvidia. So again, about $1 worth of risk, probably worth it. So here we go, man. Nvidia and the market falling down. I haven't heard anything that would make me think that this is going to be an utter collapse, but it is what it is, and that's what it's doing right now. Nvidia falling out of bed easily to the downside right now without anything.
That's the bleeding now.
Unabated to the quarterback right here.
Yeah, you're starting to see this get a little bit more. You just said unabated to the quarterback. Yeah, that's about right. It's a complete sieve. This is Tesla, which 2 minutes ago, Tesla was holding VWAP and looking pretty strong, relatively speaking. Now you're bleeding in. If you're waiting, this morning we liked it underneath $460 for a dip buy because of the price action here. Like, look at what you saw. If it gets down there, I think that's a go zone for Tesla. Still gonna have my eyeballs on Apple. That's the one, and now it's holding. Now suddenly it doesn't look so bad. Like we get out when it loses 250, 275, but it's holding on to the support. So it's not really bleeding down into that low of the day. If Tesla gets there, fine. But if Apple can round it off here and get back above 253, suddenly it looks distinctly different. from the NASDAQ, breaking lows, heading lower. The ES, pretty much the same thing. Well, this is relative strength as far as I can see here in Apple. So I want to kind of stick to this one. Obviously, you get a bit of a scalp trade early, but we got to let this one calm down. Apparently, this is moving other things because like AMC just continues to hit that low. And GameStop, we had 31 long. We got out when it broke 31. I thought maybe this could hold VWAP for us. I will have my eyes on this, but maybe after Powell and the Fed, we got to worry about the big cap names here, at least until he hits that podium.
All right. Yeah, my eyes are just really just on Nvidia. We did get that great little bid there. We're long right now at O's. So we just covered some there at O's because it's now bounced off this. Okay, I mean, hopefully it goes. Our next offer is 20s. So if we can get this upside, great, and then we'll be singing on it. But for right now, I can't, I mean, unless I really show you, it hasn't been breaking higher through this. It's only been 2 minutes, so we got to let it breathe a little bit here. I completely understand that. But, you know, again, in trying to catch a falling knife, what has been the market, that hasn't been necessarily the best trade lately to stand in front of both ways here on the market. So let's go. We're into 20s, and there it goes. Yes, nice upside move. So we're actually higher now than we were before we started this. So far, so good. A little bit of an out there in the 30s. We'll see if we can get another one at 33. We'll say what's up to Patrick Ewing. Here we go. 31, 32, 33. Oh, there it goes. Yes, sir. So nice little trade here on Nvidia. Buy the dips in the strong names. That's what we talk about. There it goes. Nice little trade there for us on Nvidia now. Roblox, let's go. I mean, right now, this is going to be a good one. Let's start to cover a little bit more down here in case that somehow was the bottom. I mean, we're not going to cover too much. We'll see we cross up there and we don't get filled. So now we'll have to wait to see if we do get anything. Okay, we're just getting like partial fills now in and around that 12 area. So good fill so far. We'll keep our bid there to see. All right, so there goes Nvidia back into the 30s. I'm gonna take another piece out right now. We got a decent amount of shares, so we're gonna keep on getting it out. I mean, I do think that we can go higher, but again, let's just capture the profit in case this decides to go even further down. Target 133.50 for the out. So give me one more out right now, and then we'll see if we can hold for a much bigger move. But so far, so good right there. 135.60 is the high.
Yeah, the market's trying to claw back in there, and Tesla made a little bit of a bounce. Apple's attempting a bounce. We're back into that one as it's trying to hold on to a little bit of strength here. A couple of other names, and I know we didn't get to absolutely everything, but Microsoft, load. Microsoft over-under at this $450 level. This is one that was weak pretty much all day long. I think I would put this in the bucket of if we continue to bleed, I'm not a huge fan of this one. If we can bounce here, great. I like Apple for some long. We've gone over that. But if we lose this bid, Microsoft has looked a little bit weaker. We end up holding 252.5. I'm back into the 3/4. We get to 53, and then the quarter above will take some out of that name as the market is trying to hold. You are bleeding to the downside, but now a few names back to back have tried to make a bit of a bounce here. Tesla doesn't seem to want to get down into those 460s to give us a fill. If that's the case, we can still wait for it. We're in a consolidated phase. You got to make a decision here. If you like the short, that'd be a good place to get in. If you like the long, it better be at the price you want. So I'm taking the shot at Apple. That's the one I preferred. Tesla, we'd have to wait down for that 460 level. And there's nothing wrong with a little bit of patience. What's going on with this chart? Tesla, that is not a symbol. Just want to quickly show you Apple. So I like the fact that we're holding sideways in here, and we haven't heard anything groundbreaking. Fine. You know, and I think that the chance that you do hear something that's going to move us away from plan would be in 15 minutes or a little bit more when Powell is on that podium. So we're going to stick to the plan of action. As we said, if it's a strong stock, you'll want to stick to that long. I want to double check Palantir here. Palantir is strong as well. This just held VWAP. This could be one for a breakout trade after 230. You know, keep eyeballs on that high of the day, and then also about 77.90 to 78 is going to be the high on a higher time frame. When in doubt, zoom out on Palantir. But I'm going to pick Apple here, see if we can't get back above VWAP. Let us know what else you guys are trading. There's a bunch of other symbols I'm sure that we could be covering. I want to make sure that I'm keeping the eyeballs on the ones that I want to trade. And let me just double check. Yeah, GameStop's still not really doing anything. And for all you nuke fans out there, it tried to break the high again. It's now in another down halt. So this one's starting to lose a bit here. Every time it tries to make a new high, it's down halting after. I'd be very careful with this. If it runs out of juice, you could be at $30 very, very quickly here on nuke. I won't be trading it. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
All right. Yeah, look, we just kind of trade what we trade here, Roblox and Nvidia right now. We asked you guys to hit the like button. Did you? Yeah, 570. Thank you so much for doing that. Over 7,500 of you watching right now. And I mean, we just tweeted out as well. Go follow at Trader TV Sean. At all of us have our accounts. There it is right there. Nice out, 134.50. Yeah, you know what? I mean, maybe we don't even need to wait for that 133. Like, what about if it just breaks this level? Then we can get out and then just regroup. So I'm kind of thinking that might be the stop because of where we've taken all these profits. I'd really like this to run from here. So yeah, that hasn't been happening, but we really like Nvidia today. Roblox and Nvidia, my top two stocks and the two that we're in right now. But yeah, really avoidance has been a very, very important word today. It's how we keep money in our pocket right there, by making sure you're flat ahead of major announcements. So that was pretty good right there. All right, here comes Nvidia right back in. What's up, Brendo?
Just real quick, guys, as expected, going out to next year, this is January now, 88.5. Remember, it was 78% on a hold going into the number, another almost 10% to the upside there, 88.5 now percent in favor of a hold going into January, which again is in line with what all these projections are saying, down from, in some cases, 4. People were projecting cuts next year to 2 at the very most at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that would be key, right? We said that, look, I mean, we just tweeted this thing out. If you guys are following me, for sure, I put this out last night, and it got a lot of likes. So it was right here. We just retweeted it as well. It was just talking about what to expect, what we're looking for, statement, press conference, market reaction, volatility, stuff to look at, balance sheet. The one thing that we said that we might have to look at there, I think Brendan's mic is live. Or Sharif's, one of them. Okay, so we want to look at IBIT right now, just real quickly. So there's Bitcoin 1036. So yeah, not holding, right? We said that we were actually going to be in, and I don't mean to throw cold water on the idea, because I already said that I was thinking about, honestly, taking half of my trading account and dropping it into IBIT, and you know that may happen sooner rather than later. But right there, looks like we're trying to hold right now 1035, but there's the move down 105 into 1035 right now. So we'll have to watch to see if that can hold, but it looks like that's the next breaking spot lower. So if we're going to look at where we are going from here and we look at an IBIT, that looks like it wants to break as well. So yeah, it sucks to be long Nvidia and thinking about going short here on crypto, but that looks like, honestly, that looks like a pretty good play. Someone said, what about Palantir from here? And I mean, this is why I advised when we had that question, it was like, yeah, you could always break tops and go, but then at the end of the day, you know, you really are sort of,
I'm good, yeah.
I don't know, you're held captive. You're held captive to the Fed, and right there, down 200 handles right now, which has been pretty good. They're able to find this long on Nvidia. I'm gonna take you out again, another 30-cent winner here for Nvidia. Let's keep the feels going. And Roblox right now, we're gonna go to Neil 1 second. Roblox right now, if you see, is breaking through. There goes Roblox. That's that $60 level right there on Roblox. Nice move to the downside right there. So, all right, go handle some business. Let's go.
Let's handle some business, because Trade the Pool is allowing stock traders like you to get evaluated and trade real shares using the company's capital with no PDT rule holding you back. Trade the Pool has just launched a limited edition program. For a one-time fee of just $30, you'll receive $80,000 in buying power and the chance to become a funded trader. Hit a profit target of just 4%, and you'll start trading with the company's capital. Get funded faster and easier with the new conditions designed for success. And the best part, the profit split's been upgraded to a generous 70%, so you keep more of what you earn. Don't wait. Check it out now and see how Trade the Pool can help you trade bigger and better. Scan the QR code you see. Check the link in the description as well. Shout out to Trade the Pool. And Tesla is still looking relatively strong. I can tell you that Apple just lost a bid. We had our consolidation long, but it doesn't break out. Wasn't looking scalp mode on this. We're in low of the, it's not low of the day, low of the range break, and we get out and wait for a little bit lower. As this is happening, I am going to start getting more. We're not breaking the low on AMC, so I'm going to continue to get this out down here. Doesn't look like we want to break this low. We've gotten to the low of the day on this short, So now if we get a bit of a bounce into VWAP, I want to make sure we're taking a little bit more profit, as you seem to have caught a little bit of a bid in this name. Tesla, as we're saying, starting to show some signs of strength back above the 470 level. This one looks like it wants to go, and I do like this Palantir. Palantir able to hold on to VWAP when other stocks couldn't. I like VWAP, and if you can hold it, that means you're good.
Oh, man. Well, we'll let the market speak for itself right now. I mean, I hope it can battle back off this 22-1 spot there. But look what we just did. We just got a beautiful little reload right there. And I don't know, I think it was pretty well done there to be able to grab that trade. So now we'll wait. We got some more out on the upside, but maybe now we run. We only have 10 minutes now until Powell comes through. So we'll be able to see exactly what we're talking about and what he's talking about very, very soon. So here comes Powell on the ones and twos in just a couple seconds. But there's Nvidia. Some more outs there just in the last couple seconds as we were talking, up into the 30s. So let's wait, give it a chance here to see if it wants to work out for us. That's going to be NVDA back up to the upside. We got some out, but not enough. We broke through 60, but not for very long. So that required us to punch out of more and more of our shares there. So when we came back in, we punched them out at 10s right there on Roblox. So we are now very, very light on this name. We probably have like 2% left, something like that on Roblox. Okay, so again, going to be a big stock today for us. Nvidia continuously going higher here right now. So let's see if it can continue that sort of that bump in the night. Kind of silently going here a little bit, like we could just watch different stocks. But at the end of the day, we just bought some 80s. It's now at 40. So like this is 60, 70 cents moving here like that. And we have it. So when I look at Roblox, sure, it's a move back up. But you know what, man? We have 10 times the shares on Nvidia right now that we do on Roblox. So giddy up right now, back up there to the upside. And let's do that exactly. Take some out right now. Shout out Brendo over there. But there it goes, man. Nice trade back there to the upside. So Neil had Apple, he's got AMC, and right now we've got Nvidia and just working our way out of Roblox. But this is an absolute monster. There it is. That's $1 off earnings off Fed. We seem to excel on Fed rate days. I know the last couple we've really, speaking for myself, done really well. So hopefully we can sort of keep that in the pocket right now. But you know what? The fireworks, Neil, as you know, couple more minutes when he hits the podium.
7 minutes until he hits the podium.
Nervous.
Well, I know we didn't look at Bitcoin. Sorry, guys. I actually meant to look at BTC.
We looked.
Right off the bottom, like the second time in here, Bitcoin was able to hold this now double bottom and heading back in. It's looking very, very strong. There was just a big move. And if you're watching, I saw someone, and the reason I mentioned this is MicroStrategy. There was a question in the chat asking about MicroStrategy in particular. And that did have a pretty large spike through VWAP. Like if you see the rejection, you hold the higher low, now it's starting to go. This is probably a good proxy just because of the volatility. It's going to do a little bit more movement. If Bitcoin breaks it out, I think this is one to watch. All right, Palantir. I don't know if it wants to break that high. I'd rather not take, I don't want to take anything as a breakout trade unless it's after Powell hits the podium. I still think you're working off support and resistance before, and then after he hits the podium, then you can worry about breakout trades. But the reason this one becomes appealing is that's quite the hefty gap that Palantir has between 78 and pretty much everything above it. So look at it hold on the 15-minute. Like this looks pretty gorgeous in here. We've got a nice consolidation above resistance. Could it break it out? Yes, but I only want to break out after 230. Otherwise, I want to play off of this 76 level. Palantir just incredibly strong. Will it get to 80 today? Obviously, you can't do that without breaking this 78. And a super strong one, Palantir, up 3% today. Let's try to work with that. Nvidia and Tesla both looking very strong. That's last I checked. But Palantir is the one. It just feels much stronger for me. And I said I only stock I wanted to look for a short on was Marvell. Okay, if we start rolling over again, this is once again still underneath 112 and continuing to bleed. So if we do get another run at the lows, this would be the stock. I know I'm in AMC, but that's from earlier and we're holding it. This would be the one stock I am looking to enter a short position on. But the futures would have to break a fresh low, and then it's Marvell I want. If we hold the lows, I like Palantir to the long side because that looks like a strong one. I know there's some Some quantum names that are going as well. Qubit, QUBT just broke the high of the day as it's now absolutely flying. This one is just a continuation play over and over again. So I know there's some small caps moving in here as well, but I think the focus needs to be on at least till 2:30, covering what's going to move alongside of the market. So Qubit's starting to go.
All right. Yeah, like I mean, if you're trading and you've been putting on some positions here, there goes Nvidia. So we'll take some more out. I'm just going to hold it now. We have virtually no risk on this trade anymore. So we'll just wait for it. We still have positions, like I said. We still have positions as far as we're concerned, but we've been taking it out. We only have now maybe about 20% left of that Nvidia trade. So hopefully it can keep going through that $1 mark. All right, Apple right now looking pretty bullish now. Nice move off 250, 250. Still got to break through VWAP to get going though. Still down on the day, but again, only down 0.24 versus a NASDAQ that's down 0.73. Let's check out what some of the banks have been doing right now as we just now are 3 minutes away from podium time. Again, starting to get out more right now. So there's okay, Apple, something about halting an effort to build a subscription service. We'll find out more about that. I think the guy said iPhone subscription service, which doesn't make any sense. So I guess unless maybe it's a buy now, pay later thing. We'll find out more about it, but it doesn't seem to be affecting Apple whatsoever. There it is. That's exactly what I said. The guy confirmed. The guy just goes, they shut down pay there. So there it goes. So Affirm was part of that. So if Apple's shutting it down, then that's the best customer you could possibly have. So right now, Affirm probably going to get to the downside as we'll get clarification on that story. But a nice little pullback now for Nvidia. So let's get some more out. All right, we'll take a 57.58. Oh no, Neil, we got to take 80-cent winner on that one. More than $1 though at the top. We already took some out right there. So hopefully you guys are in some of that. So that'll be interesting there to watch Apple and AFRM, and we'll get more details once that story's out. But right now it looks like Apple and some buy now, pay later stuff starting to move around.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, I don't see any way that that's good for Affirm, and Affirm was already weak. So this is probably a real wick, and maybe there was a reaction to the upside, but Affirm right back into the lows on that news and continuing. I'd say continuing to bleed down here. You're still getting a nice hold of above VWAP on pounds here. We only have 2 minutes till Powell hits the podium, so as long as it can hold, either it's going to be 76 or it's going to be this higher low. I'd rather not take, as I said, a breakdown trade or a breakout trade. And let's go over to Apple. Still, it's trying to, this is not a real wick. Someone in the chat said, oh no, there's a death candle on Apple. That was a dark pool wick. I had the stock up the whole time. Like it barely broke out those lows. Could have held on to it, but then what? I mean, you risk, like I lost 40 pennies, call it 35 cents. It's really only gone about 30 cents in the money. So it's still inside of the range. I don't see a reason to get back into it. This is why the pivot to Palantir just feel like it's a little bit stronger here. And I see in the chat K-Dub saying SoFi is weak. You could have a sympathy sell on anything fintech related when a firm just lost that bid. Sometimes algos are going to react that way. But my concern is when the market is now trying to retest those lows, can a strong stock like Palantir be able to hold the support at 76? All I want to see is it dip down into here, bounce off 76, go for the scalp long into some of those highs. And if we lose the low, Marvell is a prime candidate to be a bit of a dumps fill. I suppose you could add Affirm to that, but with the news just hitting, I'd rather stay away from a news-based trade and try and focus on just the mechanics of the market. NASDAQ about to take the lows one more time here. Yeah, it feels like we're not really holding on. Powell hits the podium in 1 minute. Everything can change. We've seen this before. Powell gets on the podium, and whatever you were doing before that goes the other direction. So do have your finger on the trigger to either take profit or maybe get a bit of a reversal trade in here. Can't even get AMC breaking the low. Yeah, someone's buying 420.
I mean, this is why we talk about getting out, and why I was telling you that we only have 20% left of this Nvidia trade, and how we're just kind of like playing with house money right now, because that is what we're doing. And we just got out just before this dropped. We got another piece out there of this. We only had 20%, now down to 15%. We'll see if we can get another piece, but I'm waiting above 133, 134. So I don't want to give it up yet. We'll see what happens now. And again, it's going to be prepared comments. We already know that. It's going to hit right now. So as these stories come through, okay, so here we go. We did take a little bit of a bid there as it runs into us. We're going to wait for, okay, it's going to drop out. 133.50 should be my stop. So hands off the screen right now off the keyboard. There it is. So there's the break. We don't have to make any decisions. We'll give some back there as Nvidia breaks a little bit lower, but that's fine. So here comes their statement. Now we can wait for it. It was always going to be that 133.50. So good jobs up and down. Like when you're taking, maybe 15-cent hits, but taking dollar winners, it's going to work out for you. So now we'll have to wait to see what does come through here in the market. Yeah, so he's on the podium now. It's 2:30, so this is what we expect. If there's anything different comes through, we'll watch out for it. But Apple right now, Nvidia, all these names starting to probably head a little bit lower. Look at the NASDAQ going here. So yeah, no surprise, I don't think for many of us, but there's Tesla trying to break this low as well. Maybe this is a short, perma short now. 467, what if we break that? We're just down here pretty violently. That's down $8 right now on Tesla. So big move to the downside there, TSLA.
Yeah, Tesla going lower, but the market's actually trying to make a little bit of a bounce here as Powell jumps on. You'll see we have Powell and then, Powell just there, and we had it in the corner to be able to get some of the comments. Yeah, maybe we'll get that one back. I saw it for a split second. But we're looking for a bounce off the 76 level on Palantir. It just did it once after he hit the podium, almost to the penny. This will be less than 20 cents of risk, or just over 20 cents worth of risk. And the thing I like about it, you have an even dollar level. You got VWAP in there as well. But the market's trying to make a little bit of a bounce as he hits the podium. And you can see the comments that are coming through. And again, understand that we've seen this story before. I'm not saying you just big pop-up pump is always going to make the markets move, but trend down. You just made a bottoming tail wick on obviously big volume that we're going to see in the future. So find the stock that you like, grip it and rip it, as they do say. So we're getting a bit of a bounce here in Palantir. If it gets back to 77, I want to take some out into the 77 range and then work back into those highs. Oh, Powell does it for us temporarily. The big pop-up pump has done it for now, everybody. Just make sure you take your profit. This whipsaw action usually continues for the next 20, 30 minutes until he's done. And then when he leaves the podium, sometimes you get another reversion of whatever you're doing. Well, you blow out the highs from here, and then he stops talking. And then suddenly we're back to square one. Oh, give me some 80s in here. Palantir, you can do it. You can do it.
Nice, yeah, good to see that Palantir going back up to the upside. So yeah, we got stopped out there at 50 and then bought it back. And now it's going back up to the upside. We didn't buy back as many shares, so we'll wind up giving some back, obviously, as we said that. We gave some back there on Palantir, on Nvidia. So now we'll have to wait to see if we can get even higher than this in the rate now. So there's a nice little move. Good bottom catch there on PLTR. Good move here on Nvidia back to the 20s again. I just kind of want to stay, in this pocket just for a minute, giving it down to 133. I don't want to jump in and out of this too much. So let's just sort of take it easy and give it a second to breathe a little bit right here. That is this stock. So that's Palantir. Roblox, right there, $60.40 coming into play is another spot right there for Roblox if you really wanted to reshort that. Again, we only have 3 or 4% left, so it's not, that for me is nothing. All right, here we go, man. Bad hold on Nvidia because there's the punch out. We do have a couple ins there as well to get back to the upside. So we did have a little bit more shares. We had about we had double what we have right now. We have half on board back. So nice move. Let's take something out here at 30. So there it is. We'll take something out at 28. And now we'll have to watch to see where we go from here. But so far, so good. Back up to the upside. Pretty patient there. Made some money. That's what matters. But at the end of the day, he's still on. Inflation expectations. If Adara sees anything, she'll give it to us and let us know. But so far, so good here in the market. Seems pretty straightforward so far today.
I love this comment he makes here. The labor market is not a source of inflation pressures. Yeah, no ish. You know where inflation comes from? We all know big papa pump. It comes from debt, man. You print more money, and that's where inflation comes from. None of this other stuff really matters. And everyone's print, especially here in Canada. Deficits out of control. But look, at the end of the day, it's all about the crazy price action. All right, so Palantir, it doesn't quite break 77, but it's got a defined range. That's what I like about it. Like, I prefer something, if you're going dip buying, at least let it have a defined range and then hold that range. So right now, you're able to get 76s or out in front of 76 and then play it into the 76, 80 level. And if we can break out higher, great. If we can't, fair enough. We'll have to jump out of this at the 76. I'd love to be buying higher lows as opposed to the same level, because that means your stock is in a great upward trend. I'm just double checking here. So you said I'm going to get more out in front of 420 on AMC. I wasn't making it up. 420, for whatever reason, it's catching a bid. But I think the other reason why it's catching a bid is GameStop able to almost get back to VWAP here. So I think that's worth taking a look at. The other thing to keep in mind is, remember that Nuke stock? Yeah, Nuke, it's continuing this downward trend. Now, I don't want to tell anybody not to go along here, but a lot of times when this happens, if you're really patient, you might get a retest of this big 30 level. That's VWAP, it's morning highs, it's where it broke out from. It's just going halt down, try to go, halt down, try to go. So it feels like it's on the back end of it. I know a few people are watching this. If the market dumps, it doesn't necessarily matter. Obviously, it didn't help this stock that the market went down. Just be patient. If you go long at 50, make sure you have some kind of an out. I'd be looking for maybe some kind of crazy mean reversion off of VWAP, because I don't think it's impossible that you see it there. All right, Palantir. Palantir's not giving us anything in front of 76, but if it can hold a higher low, I don't mind trying to jump in if it can show me a better, stronger trend here. Market holding like that. What's up, Adara?
We do have Powell saying here, apparently the prepared remarks, that the Fed can be more cautious in reducing rates. They're seeing 3.4% as a neutral rate by the end of 2026 on average, according to the dot plot. So that is 3.9% apparently by the end of 2025. So definitely is slowing in that policy easing. Also, I was reading through that report here about Apple ending its effort to build its iPhone hardware subscription service. It sounds like its buy now, pay later deal with Affirm ended earlier this year. So from the way this report is worded, it's also shut down its BNPL earlier this year. So this wasn't something that happened right away. Either way, stocks react to stocks react, but just wanted to give a clarification on that Apple story. Still listening to Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Back to you.
Affirm's still dumping at that low.
Yeah. That sucks probably. Some of those stocks have run up so much. Okay, so, we got into Palantir. We just took some out. We're only out of about 40% there, long at 55s, out there 75 and into the 80s, watching out for a 76 level right there on PLTR. So just another one of them names that we'll watch out for there. Nvidia, more ins, more outs. We talked a little bit about, some of the plays here today, like an SMR or something like that. That's near that $20 mark, so watch out for that as a possible break a little bit lower. We had Uber starting to go today as well, so still up there, still holding pretty decently right there on Uber. Let's check out what Advanced Micro Devices is up to right now. So up on the day, which is nice, considering what this market is all about right now. So that's going to be, I guess, a good little hold there for anybody that's in this name. But again, AMD, nice day today. If you're able to catch that 127, that was also the top yesterday in Advanced Micro Devices as well. So nice little move upside right there right now on AMD. Okay, man. Yeah, we talked about this before. Here goes Nvidia. So, where we go from here, I don't know. I'm getting out if we break 133. It's just the market is a short. I'm pretty, we've seen that now. We've just tried a couple times now on the NASDAQ to get back going. We tried there again, fail. And now trying to go right back to the bottom. Obviously, we'd rather not see that bottom, but look at that. Here it comes right in now. So we'll hold on to the Roblox short, which is back down to $60. So we'll take a little bit out right now. But most of these other longs are starting to fall out of bed a little bit here, as we say. So here it comes right back in again to Nvidia. We will try another long, but not until 133.25. So we'll give this a chance to work itself out and get a little bit lower. But again, we took some more out on Nvidia, right? I mean, I think that's what you need to do. When you're reloading these things, you got to get it out when it starts bumping in the night. So here comes Nvidia right back to the upside. I still think the risk is very, very strong right now for trading. In our ear, you see, so track, he's talking about all these progress, these deals, this and that, lots of stuff now that can change the sort of direction of this market. So I don't know, ears to the ground, and let's just keep on watching it. There's another bump up for Nvidia. We probably should have taken advantage of that. So let's put something now at 8 or 9, get out of 10% of what we have left back there to the upside. So yeah, just trying to massage some of this. The XLF is down. So right now, some of these financials starting to go a little bit lower. At least it was.
And,
so there's the move. Well,
whether you're looking at like I guess VXX just made another fresh high,
Yes,
right?
Nvidia.
So no, you're seeing volatility continue to go up. So you got to be a little bit careful for sure. But I mean, Palantir just held VWAP again, and you know what? It just put in a higher low. So this time, instead of bouncing off 76 even, it bounced off like 76.30s. Here, bouncing off of VWAP. It couldn't get past 76.60, but that's for now. This is still looking relatively strong, at least as far as I can tell. And this market, you know, this like the Nasdaq's holding pretty well. The IWM is a different story. The Russell has no chill, and you're looking at a considerable downward move here and a hold of trend to the downside. This is very different from what I think has been happening in some of the in tech. And just to zoom it out for a quick little second, this is not nowhere here on the Russell. If you remember when this was breaking out earlier, this is a monster theoretical support level, about 225, 226. Big resistance into one bounce support. We get another $1 or $2 down on the Russell, and you're at monster potential bounce levels. I'd be looking for a mean reversion down here around just anything under the 226, and I'd start looking for some kind of a reversal on IWM. Adara?
If that's your Powell answering a question here about what the motivation behind the cut was and what would motivate a further cut specifically, is a cut in January 2025 on or off the table? Fed Chair Powell did not answer the specific question with regards to January 2025, but did paint a kind of hawkish picture about the market and inflation as a whole, basically saying that there are some concerns due to higher inflation this year, that this could continue into the next year. It's also worth noting, too, when asked about the cut this month, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said it was a close call, but they feel like they made the right decision. So it seems like there was some hawkishness in this meeting as well here, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Darren. I want to address something here from one of our viewers, and appreciate you, Alex Garcia, in here. Is this normal, guys? I think is what you're asking about. Should I get out of my long term? You're a young investor. If you're young, this action you see on a Fed where we get what we expected, it's not that significant. You have to consider like time frame. Yeah, you're going to find individual names, like I showed you the IWM going down, and you might see some things move a couple of points here and there, but ultimately, even like the futures going down 1%, it's not a huge deal in any long-term sense, right? Like if anything, buy and hold does not get affected when we get as expected. If they had done something vastly out of pocket, then you might actually want some kind of a reaction in your long term. And even then, I think you want to temper it. So yes, day trading is going to have wild swings, and you're going to look at a bunch of red candles and panic, but I wouldn't be, young investors, do I care about what happens in the 30 minutes after a Fed announcement where we got what we expected? Pretty much never. They would have had to either just not cut at all, or, it would have had to been that for me to think you could make any kind of adjustment in the long term. Stay the course in your long term. Day trading, very different beast.
Yeah, look, I mean, you already nailed it with the young investor. If you're a young investor, the best time to buy stocks is now. The second best time is going to be tomorrow, and then the next best time is the time after that. And then every time you miss is going to be a miss. So, I mean, I think you ease it in, you get into ETFs, that's it. On plays like that. For individual stocks, obviously wait. The IWM is getting absolutely smoked. Like, there's so many people that make all these crazy predictions about, like, this is going to break out and this and that. Like, and then all of a sudden it does this and it comes right back in and you're just like, what?
Look at Rivian.
Yeah, so many names. Roblox Tank City right now, Palantir Tank City, Nvidia Tank City, everything to the downside. And it's not looking healthy, man. I think we break lower. I mean, when Powell gets off, it normally goes down. And so we'll have to wait to see here. Normally, it's about a half hour. So in and around 3 o'clock, he'll step off that podium and then we'll be able to see something. But there goes the Russell to the downside there, as it's pretty confirmed now that we will get that cut, that pause into the next rate cycle. So that's going to be January Fed date. So I'm going to refresh this. It was having a problem refreshing a bit. So, okay, there it is. So that's now. So that's already over with. So then we'll go to January. So now it's 89% right there as a hold.
That's very.
So, yeah, unless, again, could change, right? I mean, people are asking them questions right now. So if they get something out there, and notice, like we talked about the dot plot, I don't know. I haven't really heard too much about that, but we'll wait to see if anything does wind up changing. All right, so just to talk, I'm going to be buying some more Palantir down here in and around basically these lows. If we get it, great. If it breaks 76, not great, but we're gone if that does happen. So there it is. So now we're long on PLTR. We already know the plan of action for all these longs. So when we break, and that's that. So we are going to be out of this. We're long at 76.30 right now on Palantir. And again, just trade it however you see fit, right? Like Neil and I will trade with, obviously we've talked about this, drastically different ideas and share sizes. So I'm out right there. So there's the breakout for me on Palantir. So an L right there on PLTR. Obviously we both wind up losing as it takes out that low as the market just keeps on getting lower.
Yeah, and the other thing about this Palantir, lower highs into that flat bottom. So ultimately, the first two times good, the third time you take the trade, sometimes it is not a charm. It was just pointed out to me that Intel was at $20 exactly. It's 500,000 shares on this 20 bid here for Intel. This stock is absolutely bleeding. Not a name that I was looking to go short on, but if you're trying to defend a bid, there's a little bit of size there. I'm not looking for a long on Intel whatsoever. Let's go to Adair. We've got another update at the desk.
Yeah, Fed Chair Jerome Powell saying that the inflation has, quote, underperformed relative to expectations. So basically inflation slowing at not quite the pace they wanted. It's taking a little bit longer for that inflation to go down. So saying that that could potentially have played a role in the fact that the FOMC meetings, as evidence in the dot plot, has a lot of these members expecting we're going to have higher rates for longer. So just keep an eye on that with regards to the QQQ as we make new lows on the NASDAQ on the day. Jerome Powell saying that there is some underperformance in inflation, specifically citing the September and October numbers. Back to you.
All right, we're long now at 40s now on Nvidia. If it breaks this 133, then yeah, we will get out right now. You can see we did put on our bigger position right now as this comes in, but it's not like, these are just like last second tries right now. Like, see, now we're basically back to 10 cents out of the money. So it's not like we're just, okay, now we got some out for flat there as it sort of cycled up into the 40s. But at the end of the day, this is just like, can we reverse? If we can, I think the odds are forever in our favor at these levels. But if it breaks lower, then like it's going to do right now, then we go hands off again and we don't even try to confuse the play. We get out and we sort of thankful that, actually, I'm going to take a little bit of opportunity right now to get some more out as it bumps back up here. As we saw like our net just going to go right there. Let's get some more out on this number. We're now long at 30s. Here it comes. It's going to break again. So we're going to have to regroup pretty hard now on these futures as we just took out right there 22,000. So no wonder why we're starting to go to the downside there. Psychological level of 22, just snap right there to the downside. So yeah, not great. So far here trying to catch long. It's been the short for sure. We're $1 in the money on Roblox, but we have less shares on that one. So
we got a super chat. I'm going to get there in a quick second. Apple is now 30 cents from that low, so we had the long here. It could have been a scalp trade, but you're now at that low of almost at that low of the day as we speak. So another 20 or 30 cents, and I'm looking for that reversion. The other thing I just mentioned was Intel broke that 20. If it can regain 20, great. But if it can't get back above that level, I think you let a falling knife, and this is a falling knife, not just today, but every single day for the last little while. You let that one lie. Thank you, Nimrod, dear goats. You guys, our viewers are the goats. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Pat yourselves on the back for having the greatest community out there. Since almost every stock you guys said you like when I asked for longs and swings are the most profitable in your portfolio, Lilly, ASML, Walmart, Palantir, any other stock you like which are non-tech, any foreign. I can't give you a great answer because any foreign stock, like ASML is like the foreign stock that I like. I've just...
that's another chip name. Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you because it's pretty much Nvidia. That's the name. Like that's the one. Let me think about that for a second. I'm looking at adding to at some point adding to Caterpillar my personal account, but it's not at the level I was looking for. But we appreciate you, Nimrod. But I don't want to just randomly throw out a symbol because right now non-tech that I'm looking to dip by, nothing's at a level that I love. Caterpillar's close, but it's not there just yet. Let's go back to Adara.
We had a question here about tariffs for Fed Chair Jerome Powell saying that this is actually something the FOMC has been talking about and thinking about, saying that they have, quote, done a good bit of work on discussing the ways that tariffs can drive inflation. But they said it's going to be a big question mark because we don't really know yet what countries are going to be tariffed and to the extent that they will be tariffs. So Fed Chair Jerome Powell, as expected, having to answer some tariff questions right now, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content.
All right, thank you, Adair. Sorry about that. There it is, man. Nice move to back up to the upside. Now we're $1 in. That Nvidia broke. We did get out of some. We bought some more back there. Again, oh man, I hate when it just gets to our level and we literally use, it doesn't matter. I mean, the price we got out is the price we got out. I'm completely fine with it. But that's disappointing because we were able to buy it back, but we have to take the hit first and then buy it back. So that sucks. Like, I'd rather it just be right and go all the way to the north side. So let's see now if it can get going. We'll see if we can hold a little bit of this trade now. Roblox, we talked about it. What's up, Ozan, if you're in the building? We tweeted this one out. We talked about it. Here's the short of the day right now, Roblox. Roblox will actually be, because we just lost on Nvidia there, Roblox will be the #1 P&L name here today, traded. So, you know, and again, it just takes one trade. Like, it's like all these in and outs on everything, the hundreds and thousands of shares we've traded on Nvidia, this and that. Just such a simple trade here on Roblox. Like, I've traded like 10% of the shares on Roblox I've had on Nvidia, and I'm up more on Roblox. So anyways, here we go. Here we go again anyways for myself. Nice move to the downside there for Roblox. Let's just hold out now. Like, we can change that, right? We can change that right now by holding and seeing if we can get something on Nvidia. So there we go. 134 is coming in right now. So yeah, about that. And we always talk about this, man, chasing P&L. That's why sometimes, like, it's not great to look at your P&L, but I mean, I like to do it. So there it goes. Nice move there to the upside. Now $1 in the money. So good trade there on Nvidia. I lied. Now Nvidia is back to P&L #1, Neil.
The swings are insane in this market. We got another super chat I want to get to. Thank you, Kyle Burdett. I'm not shocked at all. Santa, that you SPY traders watch 597 anchored VWAP from the election day resting there. If you can anchor anything to election day or the August lows, that panic Monday, those are two monster levels. Obviously, earnings is going to be big. But yeah, the SPY 597, worth a look. I keep thinking you're going to actually get a reasonable spike to maybe short into this Marvell. But sometimes you can't anchor yourself to the prices that you want. You just got to look for the prices that it's giving you. And if we don't ever break back up, like this should have been the one name I was short because it was at the price that we liked. We just weren't able to get it. Looking back, Apple's still looking relatively weak, but Palantir, like this is one that never broke the low. I got out. Want to see if we can catch a bit of a curl here. I want to see it set up a level. Just want to try to be a little bit more particular. I don't like fighting things on a Fed day. I want to stay away from that. It gave us a consolidation before where we could long off and then look for a continuation. But I don't necessarily want to just jump in and average, and then try to have this come up. So if you're going to hold on to this higher low in front of 75.5, then we'll look for that consolidation play and try to be a little bit patient about that. Oscarito saying all of this action is giving you an appetite. I hope it does. And just try to have a plan of action, like whatever your style of trade is. You want to shotgun it, go for it. Make sure you have yourself an out or a price level to trade around. You want to wait for some even dollar, like obvious sort of levels to play with. You can look at something like this Intel 20 level, which I have up on a second level too. Like it's just a simple, if it holds 1995, you start catching a bid off at 20. I'd look for, it's still all red and it's still trending to the downside. But it's a pretty simple setup, right? Like this one's got a nice downward trend. If it can close above the trend line, I look for a long 1s and 2s where you can give it to that low, and then all of a sudden your risk to reward looks good. That's the kind of setup that I'm looking for. Either Palantir, show me an obvious support level that I can work off of, and then you play it 3 times, third time loses, fine. Still green on Palantir because we weren't fighting it on the way down, and we're taking profit on the way up. But when it loses your bid, you want to jump out of Dodge, and that's all you can really do. Helder saying, would you hold or sell Tesla? If you're talking about the long term, like we were saying earlier with that previous viewer, I'm not. None of this changes anything for me in the long term. I think you make those decisions differently. If you're talking about this afternoon, well, have a look at Tesla. Tesla, kind of like Apple and like most of the other names, is still in a downward trend. What I want to see to try to jump, if I'm going to go into a long again, I need to see a stock holding a support level cleanly in a consolidation or breaking a trend. You don't see, like I didn't see Intel break a trend since since we had him hit the podium, this is the trend on Tesla. If I'm looking for a long, well, I want to see it break that trend back into the upside. Then we look to jump into it. Tesla's about to get to the low of the day. And the other side of it is, well, I liked Tesla this morning for longs between 55 and 60. So let it either break that trend line or give me 55 to 60. If we're trending down, why not get the price that you like? I mean, this morning, I was mad. I'm like, why didn't we get under 40.60 for a bounce play on Tesla? And we have a chance to do so, so I'm going to try and be patient. It's down 3%. So let the weak stock give you the price that you want, and if the stock is strong, then you can trade it inside of that range. And now as we're coming down, Palantir, here's the test. If it can hold the same level like it did up there, then we'll look for the long. If it doesn't, I don't have to fight it. Let's go to Adara.
Some more comments here from Fed Chair Jerome Powell, kind of hinting at concerns about policy changes here coming with the new administration. Fed Chair Powell saying that the Fed expects, quote, significant policy changes, but they need to wait and see what they are and what the effects will be to get a clearer picture of how it would impact inflation. Pretty similar to his comments on tariffs. He also said, though, that the U.S. economy is performing very, very well and that there's no reason to think a downturn is any more likely than usual. So basically some comments here with regards to how incoming President Trump could impact the economy and some of these policies here, but we still have a push lower here on the market as he continues to speak. Back to you guys.
Yeah, the market is, man, it's pretty dead right now. We'll try a little bit of a reload here on Nvidia, but like, there it goes. So once it breaks, I was gonna say once it breaks the bottom, we're gone on that one. So yeah, Roblox still number one right now as we give it back there on Nvidia. All right, look at Roblox right now, bleeding to the downside. I mean, obviously we wish we still had the whole boat. We do not. Nice move to the downside there for Roblox. Again, really took out. I mean, I guess once it broke that 60, it was game over. We should have added to it right there instead of like just taking some out on the bleed down. But there it goes, man. Good trade there for us, obviously, on that one. Palantir, I still think that 75. I was going to say 75 could be a level. We are right there right now. We just missed the long. So we'll punch a little bit here. We're at 75.01s. Again, don't know if we're going to get it there. Okay, well, we got it, and we got it good. So now let's wait to see if there is a little bit of a pushback in this. The reason why I like this level was I was trying to play off some of these bottoms right here, 74.85s in change right now for Palantir. So, hey, man, maybe, oops, okay, I was going to say maybe we'll get something out at 10. But here it is into the 20s again for this name. Good trade so far on the reload. I think being patient here for Palantir. I mean, we got the hat on. Let's see if we can put this one in our pocket here again right now. So Palantir up to 75 quarters right there. We will take some out. That's the risk we're giving this trade. We're giving it to 80s there. So we'll just take some out. That was like 1-to-1, and we actually got out of half. So that was pretty good. So good little trade there, scalping and learning our lesson to take profits when they come through there. So we take half out, so now it's house money, right? So here it comes back up to the upside. We actually just had another offer there, so we got some more out. Good trade here on Palantir. Here it goes now. Neil talked about the swings. Palantir now goes to number 2 overall on the day. All right, Dara.
Actually have not Powell update right now. Keep an eye on VRAX. This is Virax Biolabs. Not a ton of volume on this. Worth noting about 800,000 shares traded on the day so far. But I'm not seeing a specific catalyst. Looks like it might be popping because they do have an avian flu vaccine. I looked it up. And we did have about 30 minutes ago, Gavin Newsom, Governor of California, declaring a state of emergency in the state with regards to the bird flu. So keep an eye on some of these bird flu related stocks, including VRAX, which does have a float of 2.4 million shares, a $9.24 million market cap. Guys, back to you.
VRAX.
So we waited for 460 on Tesla for any kind of an over-under trade, and it just gave its first shot at it. So let it bleed down. I mean, I was wanting this one long above VWAP. It just never set up. We wait for it to get to the low of the day. It bounced off 61s, took back through 61, and stopped through 60. Now you just got to wait for like 58 or 55. This trend just continues to bleed and bleed. Off the top of my head, I was trying to think of some of those, some of the stocks for that outbreak. But maybe throw some in the chat.
She gave us that VRAX there.
But there's another one, and it's at the top. You know when something's on your brain, but I just can't. There is one that moves really well, and off the top of my head, I can't think of it. I want to try to focus on the stocks I'm watching because Tesla's now under that 460 level we like. Bitcoin just lost a bid and is now headed down toward the 102 level. Gonna zoom out a little bit further so you can see 102.5. It's a pretty key level. If it can't hold this, we are going to be in a world of hurt. Yeah, I missed Marvell. It is what it is. If there's a fail for me this afternoon, this broke the low. Yeah, I'm just gonna slap the fail. This was the one stock, this and Rivian, and if I show you what Rivian is doing, like these are the stocks we like short today. Rivian is absolutely bleeding like a you-know-what. Probably should have been short this. I was looking at Marvell and missed out a chance on Rivian. Moving a potential 13 support level on the daily chart. But if it's not holding strength, I don't want to try it. If it's broken the low of the day or yesterday's lows, I want no part of a bounce play. Let's go to Adara once again.
In case you're wondering here, we had that big volume spike, downside volume here on the Qs. Looks like the largest volume candle of the day on the 3-minute chart. Fed Chair Powell saying basically that, let me find this comment here. Lots of comments being made here by Fed Chair Powell. The one here that made that move down in the market was Fed Chair Powell saying that he's confident that the Fed is on the path to 2% inflation, but it might take another year or two from here to get to 2%. Now, it's worth noting the 2026 projections, as of right now, the median rate they're seeing is 3.4%. So that would be 2 years from today. We're going to have to wait and see how long this actually takes, because Fed Chair Jerome Powell is here saying at least a year or two to get to that 2% inflation goal. Back to you guys.
Okay, I know that Tesla was a real quick one, and we might have something similar here with Palantir. If I mean, we've been getting it out, but I mean, this has been quite. We're wearing the hat. I wish we could be a little more diamond hands on this one. So let's try. Okay, well, we just got 13s or something there, so that was pretty good. We're long at 92s. Let's see if it can go, man. It's only 30 cents now. All right. See, like as soon as I see this again, let's take another piece out at 15. It just stopped again up there. All right. So we have half left. Still decent position here. We're going to stay green on it, but I don't know. We could go red. If it breaks that 74, 75 area, we are out of PLTR. So we're going to wait for that to come through. We're just taking out profits as they come in, trying to be better than 1-to-1 on the trade. But we're fighting the trend. We need to go short on something. So I just need to try to work my way. Here it comes, see? Trying to work my way into an okay, well, we just got out there. So maybe it was breaking through 80s is where we got out there. Yeah, we got a 77 fill. So at the end of the day, right there. So long 92s, they're out 77s. Basically flatted out Palantir there again on these dips. So, all right, we need to go short. I mean, the market is really breaking, down 2% now. But we are at a level now on the 30-minute chart. There's your 200-period moving average at 21.8. So remember we said that when the market was coming in, we're like, this could be a stopping spot, but it was not. 22,000 flat. Now you're down another 21,180. So
yeah, it's now getting a little bit more hectic in this market.
70 handles. Yep.
You're now 5% down on Tesla.
I still want to go long.
The only stock the stocks I'm looking at that are green on the day, they've lost a bit anyways. That's Nvidia and Palantir, and I still feel like I should be short in Marvell. It's not giving me any kind of a setup. It just stares, and it looks like mean reversion setups. Unless you try to take some paper cuts in here, we're already down 2%. But I just went over and looked at ARM. I thought this could be a bit of an opportunity on ARM if it was going to lose the bid, but missed it. Like it was already gone, and it lost 142. There's room to the low here. So this one, if it breaks 140, it's got some room to yesterday's lows. Adara again.
Keep an eye on HIMS, Hims and Hers Health, getting hit here by a short report from Hunter Brook Research. Basically, a lot of that rally in Hims was inspired by the fact that they were allowed to sell GLP-1s during the GLP-1 shortage due to a regulatory quirk. Because there was a shortage, they were able to make these sales. Now, though, there are some reports suggesting that these GLP-1 shortage will be declared over as of tomorrow. As such, Hunter Brook thinks the stock will drop, and they have shorted HIMS. Keep an eye on this one, and maybe some other GLP-1 related stocks as well as potential sympathy plays, guys.
Okay. Oh, man. So I was just looking at Palantir.
Lilly.
You know, you're about to turn red on this name. You're about to get right back into $74. Looking at that sort of pre-market low there is 73.80. Wow. Just to have shorted through VWAP on anything, I mean, in hindsight, right now you're down 2% and bleeding even further right now.
Apple 250.
Apple 250, yeah. I mean, that's probably a play there as well.
Google
down to the downside. Google, what is it?
Well, okay, Alphabet. Alphabet 190. I mean, it's Google L. That's why I'm specifying,
price?
because 191 is about to get to. You're essentially giving almost everything back for a couple of these bigger names the last couple of days. I don't even want to look at Microsoft because Microsoft 450. Microsoft 450. There it was. There was a bounce after Powell, after the rate decision, and it held underneath that 450 level. And this is also bleeding down 2% on Softy. Yeah, it's getting a little bit nasty. We just had a 450 capitulation bottom on Tesla. Adara, this is a bit of a capitulation bottom. If it gets and holds above 450, this is insane. Look at the candle that we just saw here
Down 7%.
on Tesla. That's insane. Adara.
Right now here, we have the Qs dropping. We have Fed Chair Powell basically saying that they still have some work to do on inflation, and they need the policy to remain restrictive to get that work done. So suggesting more caution or hawkishness when it comes to these rate cuts, because more work done, policy remains restrictive, implies that they're going to have to keep rates the way they are as of right now. They also said they think the policy is working and having the effects they want. And as we say that, we get, as of right now, the largest volume candle of the day so far on the QQQ. Back to you.
That's insane in Tesla. You know what you're saying? Take profit? Yeah, well, Neil didn't take profit.
Ouch.
It's
wild, man.
It's annoying, but at the end of the day, like I just had 52s in there.
Let's go.
4 52s, and it comes right back. You got to try to stay in the pocket. Like, I never want to bleed more on this than I'm going to make on a good move. But that was capitulation bottom. What I meant by that was biggest volume candle since the opening rush on a redonkulous move to the downside.
Let's go. We are at our high of the day right there. Oh, boy. There goes Palantir, man. We stepped in front of it. We took that money. There it goes, right up to the upside. Thank you so much, market. So there it is, man. We were waiting for that. We talked about coming back in there. As soon as I heard that capitulated bottom on Tesla, I'm like, maybe it's the market. Let's go. There goes Palantir, man. Yeah. Traders stay late with Neil today, but traders trade today as well. And there it goes. Huge move on Palantir. Wow, we were actually turned our account close to going red there, and now we're back up near the high of the day. These are the days that you're supposed to be in trading. Let's wait to see, though. Very risky, right? You got to, again, trading a bigger account is nerve-wracking, but if you still got to have the right plays on board, right? I mean, and for me, the biggest problem is trying to figure out how to scalp in and how to scalp out, because when it turns on us, we have to have really quick outs. And if you don't have quick outs, then this kind of style definitely burns you, which is why I keep saying all the time, see, I'm just getting out now 5% every time. I'm getting some now out at 67s as we go here on Palantir. So there's another out, right? So it's kind of just milking the trade, if that makes any sense. So it gets to the point where you feel like you have a decent amount of risk on board again. So we have a third left of this trade, and it's a monster right here for Palantir. Thankfully, we're able to catch the bottom, but there it is. What's up, Chill Vibes? Positive vibes, for sure, from Chill Vibes. All right, Adara.
Yeah, Bitcoin veering towards that 100,000 level as of right now, around 1015. This is the 15-minute chart. Lots of downside volume. There's actually a question about Bitcoin here. When asked about a Bitcoin reserve, Fed Chair Powell says that they're not allowed to own Bitcoin and that the Fed is not looking for a law change. So it sounds like Fed Chair Jerome Powell does not approve of or agree with this Bitcoin reserve, BTC, plunging pretty hard in this. We're about to break 101,000, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not telling us anything we don't know. What are we talking about here? You know what they can and can't have on their balance sheet. That's obvious, to be sure. But it is what it is. That capitulation bottom was absolutely insane. I looked over, though. What is not going is just as interesting to me as what is going, as Rivian's still down and the IWM still down. It really just feels like the NASDAQ's actually still holding the lows. So this is not necessarily this might not be it, but every single day, I think 9 out of the last 10 days, there has been at some point a program buy in the last hour on Tesla. And then it's managed to hold for 20, 30, 40 minutes. If that's going to happen, I want to see continuation candles. So when it does, you get a higher low after. You continue to hold green. So I want to make sure we get a higher low off 450 before I jump back into this one. Again, don't want to be fighting anything entirely crazy. Apple is at a key level. We allowed Apple to get down into this low, and now you've got the wick. It hasn't really regained the bottom, so I don't want to jump into the entry. What I do want to do is possibly At this point, feel like the short that we're in after that capitulation bottom, this is probably the spot to cover the short. So if we break this trend, I get out, and I'm going to trail this to 418, and we'll just hold for the low of the day. But it's time to put a trail on. You get a capitulation bottom like that in the market on volume, then if you're in a short, I think it might be time that if it breaks trend, jump out of it as much as it has been working. CVS.
Yeah, CVS, there's some sort of a lawsuit there by the U.S. government. So we'll see if it does anything. I don't know. We're just trying. It's underneath VWAP. We like the stock here short on that news. Again, we'll just see. It's not reacting, so it's probably nothing burger. So we're going to get off a break a little bit higher than this right now. But guess what, guys? We are now out of Roblox. So there it goes, $1.50. I mean, huge trade. We only held obviously a small piece there. Like we have the same shares on Roblox as on AMC there. So nice move to the downside for us holding some of these. And sometimes you gotta hold it. So credit to that one for Neil for holding. Good move there on Roblox. All right, back up to the upside goes Palantir. But again, we take advantage of that move, right? We're starting to cash it out. The move and the trend is down. So take advantage of that and fade pops, right? So that's basically what we've been doing. We talked about we only had a third left. Now we have a little bit less than that left on PLTR. I'm just going to give it to that local bottom and punch out if and when we break like 73.70 or so because of what we have left. It's still not good, man. I do not like that. One stock I saw, Disney, was okay. Yeah, so. Did it break 116? What was that level? Yeah, so no, 116 was the high. I was looking at this, 115. I was looking at thinking about this. So I took Roblox instead of Disney, but it was very, very similar setups where we were underneath VWAP and I was looking for some shorts. So I was thinking that was something very, very similar to what we were doing on Disney and Roblox. So if you see the two there, I think we probably made the right choice because I wind up taking more shares on a $60 name than I would have a $115 name. That's 60 down to 59. So 60, 80s down to 59. So that's about $1.70 there for that move on the downside. And then Disney, again, look at the setup kind of, right? Now everything's changed. VWAP's changed and all that, but you're at VWAP, you're at this high right there. So we shorted it. If you look at Disney, it was very, very similar where we had these levels and we could have got out if it broke higher. And then you win the lottery by going short. It's like part of it is not rocket science. You take trades based on what you see. It's just like Micron. We weren't predicting this move. We just got out because it was like it's 2 o'clock and we don't need the risk. So there goes Micron to the downside. Micron was our number one idea to go long. Micron still is a very, very profitable name for us there today. But we're out of it because of what's happening in the market. So you just got to be careful with this. All right, CVS is coming back in a little bit. I'm still waiting for lower. Like if this is a story that I thought was.
Apple.
Apple's at 250. So again, I know you took a stab there on Tesla. What's the plan?
Yeah,
Tesla's now broke.
No, Tesla broke down lower. Obviously the mistake in Tesla,
445.
I had the right entry price, but let's keep in mind, the second it got $2.50 in the money, I moved my stop to break even and did not get enough profit out very quickly. I was like, in my mind, I was thinking reversion to this candle when we get 55s. So I was looking for a bigger move on Tesla like it was a breakout. Apple is the name that's probably at the biggest level. This 250 is going to be gigantic. I looked over at Marvell, not a level I want any piece of to the short side. If I see a few mil on the bid of Apple at the 250 level, maybe it's a false break, but I want a scalp trade now. And the other thing is, sometimes you should be waiting for the reversion when Powell gets off the podium. And he's still talking. Like it's 3:15 and he's still going as the market continues to go. And in the back of my mind, you sort of remember the same reason why you have the reversion at 2:30 when he hits the podium. Sometimes you want to wait until he's gone. So Apple is getting to that 250 for sure. It does seem like it wants to get there. Let it get. If it's that weak, let it get to the price. And I know it's a round number. Maybe there's a big bid there. It's not just the fact that it's 250. Yesterday I might not have been here, but we can all see what it did at the open, and we can see what it did 2 days ago off the 250 level. So there have been buyers at the support level, but that's where the area that you try for. Just looking for a tight type of trade where you can risk 25 cents to try to make $50, $75, $1.25. And in a few minutes, we'll even look at the early look for the imbalances. You might get a few. We'll see. The closer you get to Friday, the more we should be concerned with imbalances on, for everybody that doesn't know, Palantir, MSTR, SMCI, and Moderna. Those of the 6 names, those are the 4 big ones, just in terms of big index actions on Friday. 2 big additions, 2 big deletions. There's also AXO and that no one cares about, but yeah, those are the big ones.
I'm glad we're not just a pretty face, because then we would be failing. I'm glad we can trade. Here we go, man. I mean, this is going to be a good trade for us. Again, for CVS. So there it goes. Right into the downside. It's hitting levels that we sort of talked about, hitting levels that we like. It's CVS. Nice downside play there. Happy about it. You know, good move. Let's see if we can get even lower now on CVS. So, yeah, you know, downside play today on that name. We did hear a little bit of the story there. Adara maybe has it. What's up?
What the outlook would be for 18 months out, because I guess the reporter thought that it seemed a little bit unclear. Fed Chair Powell basically said that it is unclear. They're not really sure where they're going to go because there's different models being used. You're going to have to wait and see what happens here. But emphasizing, though, that we're currently in a, quote, new phase, and that they have to be cautious about further cuts from this point. Also interesting point here, Fed Chair Powell specifically saying that when people are feeling pressured right now, that's because of high prices and not because of high inflation. We had a little bit of stabilization here in the Qs for a while with that green volume candle to the upside. As of right now, though, going to pull back a little bit, down about 2.25% on the NASDAQ.
Talking about there. I mean, when I sort of saw people talking about how, like, he's saying they're not going to be able to hold cryptocurrency, like, I don't know if he's got his resume up or not yet, but he better get it going, because that guy will be hitting the door very, very soon if he doesn't get on board with cryptocurrencies. So, all right, U.S. prosecutors announced lawsuit accusing CVS of filing billing for unlawful opioid prescriptions. So maybe they were filling the wrong prescriptions there. So right now, that's just the play there on CVS, and CVS go boom to the downside. So that was a good trade.
You should go to jail for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, let's see what it is. Like, I mean,
well, okay, maybe not specifically. In a general sense is all I mean.
Yeah, there's going to be people that are filling those prescriptions that I don't know. So anyways, that was the story there. So we'll see. And again, like, very, very heated thing right there. So let's see if it goes downside, especially with all the stuff that's been happening in the healthcare sector as well. All right, so Palantir. So P&L 1 today, Roblox, P&L 2, Palantir. Despite it losing the bid right now, good trade there all the way back up for us on PLTR. So I'm breathing a sigh of relief right there. As you know, we got to represent the hat and actually put up some profits here today for PLTR. We don't do that every day, nor do we try to maximize our profits every day. We try to do that, but if it doesn't happen, it does not happen. And today for Palantir, it didn't. We could have got out every time for a little bit more than where we did, but at least there, we did not reload. And remember, we only had, I don't know what I was telling you guys, 25, 30% left. We had about a third, then we got out of some. Then we got out of more on this bump back. So that's why now, when I look over, I thought I'd be more red on Palantir than we are, but so far so good there. Half out of CVS. The story's out there. It's not giving me the juice that I thought it would, especially in this market moving down. So we'll work out getting more out right now at 70.
Yeah, I think this is
68.
Basilicious in the chat. At the end of the day, yeah, the federal government can hold it. So I think it's, you know, if you're bullish on Bitcoin because there could be that strategic reserve, who cares if the Fed does? If the federal government does, I shouldn't say once, I don't want to speak in certainties, but once the federal government does, or if they do, then all of a sudden you're going to get other ones have to. If the U.S. does it, then you better believe China's buying. You better believe at least a couple of European nations will. I mean, we're probably not smart enough to do it here in Canada. I don't want to speak that certain about our government, but I'm pretty certain that wouldn't happen. But no, the federal government can. So here's the 15-minute on the NASDAQ. It's all red candles right now. Apple is now at the 250 level. Powell is still on the podium. I'd like him to stop talking. Sometimes that's the best place for a bit of a reversion trade. As we get to 320, I'm looking for Powell to get done, or at least to bounce off 250. I haven't seen the bid yet on 250, and if there's anything on the bid in my book, I'm barely seeing anything down there. So it's not as if there's like a million shares or anything on this 250 bid of Apple, which doesn't necessarily matter. But just keeping in mind, yesterday's lows was about 35 cents underneath the 250 level. So we can hold on to yesterday's lows without actually holding on to the 250 spot. We want to let it matriculate down here. Either he's going to stop or we're going to get some kind of a capitulation candle down at that 250 level to look for a reversal. Don't want to be rushing into this. Like, you're still just falling incredibly heavy here. But the buyers are at least trying at this key area of support. You can see it not making fresh lows. Show us some green. Otherwise, why try to jump into it? It's obviously a crazy, crazy mover. Yeah, chill vibe. Somebody ring the bell. The market's beat down. One of the things I looked for today was, can I find something at a level on ARM? Because that's a stock in my long term that I've been trying to sort of add into on dips, and then it wasn't making that big of a move to the downside, unfortunately. Like I was thinking if it was panic down 5%, I'd buy some, but it's not.
Not yet. All right, right there. Now 20 handles in the money. We just stepped into the Qs. So we stepped in there. We buy some futures there off of some of these lows. Again, I just sort of zoomed back out a little bit there. Let's see if we can get higher. Now we're higher than that. Now we're 20 plus handles in the money. Let's get some more out here as we go higher. I just sort of zoomed out a little bit here. And I was like, you know what? We're getting close enough to some of these bottoms, which was 85.30, 85.20 or so. And I said, you know what? We just wicked a bottom. Maybe that's the bottom. You know, so maybe, okay, now we got to get over here, Neil. Oh boy, here we go, man. Yeah, damn, it sucks to be off tomorrow. All right, so here we go. Nice move to the upside right now. Let's start taking this out. There it is, Neil. Here's a big move, man. The futures are in the building again. You guys want some futures trading? You got it. There it is, another move for us to the high side on the TQQs. So we just bought it. I go basically every penny is like a handle here from what we've been doing. So we're long at 85.80 right now, 86.40s right there, 60 handles off the bottom. Here we go. Good trade there for us on the okay. The more and more, look, it'll be a great day today. You know, the trophy's broken, we'll lift it up. The idea here at the end of the day, like, I do not properly share size anything. Like right now, I'm up more on this right here than I am on Palantir all day. On Roblox, well, Roblox, whatever, but on Palantir all day. You know, I've traded thousands of shares of Palantir today, and now we just trade whatever hundreds of the TQs here, and we're up the same amount of money. So yeah, we got to do a little bit better on that. But anyways, at the end of the day, when it's green, Neil, it's green, and we are green right there. So a good little day there for us now on PL, on the Qs and on the market. We're close to back up, like out of all of this, man, it's just so crazy. Out of all this Nvidia, out of this CVS, thank you CVS, by the way. That's going to be a good one. After Square, after Nvidia, after Palantir, after Micron, after all of this nonsense, we put this trade on, and oh boy, it takes us right back up to some of those highs of the day for our net. So far, so good, man. There's questions or something?
No, last question.
Oh, last question. Okay. At the end of the day, we're here. We'll just take some more out right now. Now we'll sit back and relax and see if we can get a little bit more on this. But so far, so good. Let's just chill. Okay, Adara, what's up?
So basically a question here, the last question, by the way, of the conference for Fed Chair Powell is basically asking, do you think the Fed will have to settle for the fact that we're not going to get inflation to 2%? Fed Chair Powell says, no, the Fed will not be settling. They will be getting inflation back to that 2%. Though he did also note that the inflation process has been, quote, frustrating, and it's been slower than hoped or expected. Also saying apparently that it's a good thing the Fed doesn't have a really clear idea of where the neutral rate's going to be in a few years. So interesting notes here coming from Fed Chair Powell. A little bit of a base trying to form here for the NASDAQ. Again, this is the last question, guys.
Yeah, so he's going to be leaving the podium in just a quick little second. We're waiting for the first available green candle with a capitulation underneath on Apple for an entry. It's above 250. It's above 250 and a half. 1-to-1's not till it gets to 251, and then prior low is going to be the next target. You are going to have the imbalances drop in. There's nothing yet at 330. I expect some names are going to come in here. Oxy is about the only thing that looks like anything right now. So we're now into this. I looked over at Tesla to see if it was maybe a little bit stronger or at least holding the 250 level. Answer was no. It's still doing the exact same dance, trying to break trend. And until we actually have him off the podium, it's not really giving you that setup. It did its capitulation candle already. Was said, look for that green candle. If it makes a fresh low and breaking 250, jump out of it. Stick at 1-to-1, stick at 2-to-1, and then we'll see what happens. Marvell's still working to the downside. I have not gotten out of AMC, which means it's just continuing to go lower. I've moved my trail once. I'm going to move my trail again. Every single time it bounces off the low, I just respect where the trend is and then get it out on that trend line. At this point, obviously should have reloaded this stock, but I didn't really think AMC was going to do this move because we We like trading those big cap tech names around here. I think they give you the best opportunity. But if we make this threshold, wait for 250 on this bad boy. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. Do not want to give back a significant portion of the day here on AAPL. But we waited for a green candle. We got it. I'm not trying to scalp out of something. I'm looking for a big reversion or nothing.
All right. Yeah, so now that he's gone, let's just, say thank you to everybody. Thank you, everybody, for watching here today. I mean, naturally, as you can see, again, just talking, he's done now, so thanks for being for that one. Wild day. We're going to be up, not much since that announcement, so a positive day. Could have been a little bit better. The problem is the retracement didn't really come through. Here's the NASDAQ. We finally made a big play there right at the end of the day, so we're really happy with the way that obviously started to pair out for us. But yeah, that was a big trade. Other than that, there wasn't too much, man. I mean, we tried to catch some Palantir knives as well. There goes the Qs breaking the low again. So again, still positive on the Qs naturally, as we talked about that. So there it goes. Now he's gone. Now the market makes low, 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 low. So yeah, I don't know. Happy that we were able to get right back to where we were near our high spot for the day. So we did that. TQs break lower. That real level, if you wanted to look at it, I mean, I didn't think we would come to this low into 85, but that's sort of where the level is here on the TQs. There's a lot of garbage out there. That very wicked bottom is 84.10 or so. So nice move down there on the Qs. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Hit all of that and make sure that you're here with us every single day. Apple must have gone down, I guess, there, breaking lower as everything now coming back in. So, yeah, Apple does not hold, obviously, that 250, I assume, if it, so
nope.
It broke.
And the thing about it is, always make sure if you have a stop, adhere to your stop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every single time. If you don't have an exit to your trade before you get into the trade, then you don't have a trade, you've got to gamble. And at the end of the day, you do not want to be gambling. You'll never lead yourself to consistency. I want to try to stay positive for a day, for the month, all that kind of good stuff. But if I say I'm going long in front at 250, I might put a stop at 249, 85, or 89, or at 99. But certainly, if it gets down and breaks through yesterday's low, then I'm not going to still be long. It's that simple. If you get the mean reversion, like I said, it did make the trend break with a green candle. That's going to trigger an entry for me. We want to make sure we're getting 1-to-1, 2-to-1, that kind of a thing. So if that trade works, then great. I'm going to lose an amount that I could have won. But you never want it to be the absolute reverse. And if you look over what's going on, I know the market's bad. IWM it's basically stared that prior support in the face and completely broke it down. So you've now lost that key level on the Russell, and it's continuing to flush. So this is a pretty hefty reverse here for some of these small caps. And remember, Tesla was Tesla, that 250 for 450. It just tagged 440. So there you go. We're still continuing to bleed. It's looking nasty, 2.5% to the downside. Tesla could go 10% down at this point, which is completely, I don't think anybody would have thought that. 10% down, I would love to see it happen from a trading perspective tomorrow because then it would be short sell restricted. But that's about the only good thing about Tesla is it's continuing to flush here. It's a healthy pullback on a daily chart, but no questions asked. And at the end of the day, if I'm going to be wrong, I want wrong to look like that. Try the long, no. Try it, no. That's what I want to try to have it look like here. But this is starting to look nasty. And keep in mind, after market, we get Micron earnings. I haven't even looked at them. They are the only major name that is reporting after market tonight. And this was a stock that was breaking out before all of this. It was breaking out on the daily. Now we're right back at the 50-period moving average. Opportunity, maybe. There's going to be a big number for them. They better not guide poorly. That's all I'm going to say. Not the way the market's moving today. If they report bad guidance, you're back at $100. Easy.
Oh, yeah, 5%. Yeah, the implied
90
more than that. Okay, so we'll go here, man. 106. I'm going to go long on Micron if it breaks a little bit higher right there for MU. And as Neil said, man, tough day, right? Tough day. Again, going back and forth there. Oh, boy. We're actually having For us, we're actually having a pretty good day today, all considered. We have an up stock here on the TQs. We have an up stock on Square. I'm just talking about P&L wise here so far today. Just some ideas of mine that we've had so far going long on Square. Good thing we get, like, look at us getting out of this right before the number, right? Very up on Roblox, very up on Palantir. Actually red on Nvidia. We turned red on Nvidia there. Only red stock. Micron. Well up on Micron, and then CVS. So right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll go 6 and 1 today, and shout out to O Canada and say thank you for no PDT rule. As we'll go 6 and 1 today, trading prop here at Real Trading. Again, you know, you can ask, you can put it in the chat, all this to all of us, but you know, we'll just speak about ourselves. All right, what's up, Viram, right now? Good super chat. All right, hey Sean, hey Neil, love you guys, appreciate it. All right, by the way, we're getting out some more CVS now. 15 cents and going a little lower here. All right, do y'all think we're gonna see, oh, first of all, I didn't like this yet. There we go. Thanks. Oops, I hit thanks and it closed it. Oh, where is it? Don't go away. All right, so here we go. Do we think we're gonna see a rebound on the market sometime this week or the next week? Yeah, I mean, a rebound in the market, and is it a good time to go long for day trades? So again, I just feel like, you know, the same thing that all of us would do would be ask ChatGPT what the next couple days after Fed has looked like. But I'm just going to give you, Varun, Varun there, a homework for yourself. So, okay, here we go. You get back to me tomorrow, and you super chat the results tomorrow. Okay, my friend, this is on you right now. So you're going to go back and you're going to find the last 4 rate decisions. You're going to go find the last 4 days. You're going to figure out what it was, as expected or not, and then see the action on that day and see the follow through the next couple days. All right, so that is homework there. And then once you get that, then you'll have a little more confidence to think, hey, is there more room to run up or downside right now? But the thing about it is, this is December, so we have a big rebalance coming in 2 days on Friday. So that's going to affect some of these stocks. So we talked about the Palantirs, the Modernas, all these that are coming in and coming out. So some of these stocks, I don't know why I'm on this. Let me go to something a little more exciting. Some of these stocks like a Palantir. As a fake board member of Palantir, I got to figure out what's going on with this stock to the downside. But, you know, I do think there's going to be some rebound in some of these names over the next couple of days as traders get positioned in for what's going to be that ad on Friday afternoon. So I do think that there's something to that. Hey, there it is. You're welcome, Varun. There it is right there. He's the perfect student. Hey, Varun, if you're looking for a job, marketing at tradertv.live, we can have a talk. But right there, good job. I like that right there. Thanks, Sean. I'll get right that immediately. So you're hired. There are so many lazy people in this world that, you know, they don't change styles of trade. They don't change anything. They just do the same stuff over and over again. That's a fail. So I'm glad that that's an idea that we're talking about right now. Neil, I know we'll both agree. You got to do homework. You got to figure that out. So Varun, it's on you right now. Go figure that out. Give yourself some more confidence. I mean, it's hard for Neil and I to say, like, the market's going to be back up in the next little while.
Yeah,
you know, we've broken a little bit there. If you're going to do, let me just go one more thing.
I'll say this.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I do know when we were in the when we were on the other end of the cycle. Right now, we're in a cutting cycle. When we're in a bit of a raising cycle, when we're in a raising cycle, anytime you'd get a bounce, at least in the last one, when we would get a bounce in the market, that high in the next couple of days was usually a temporary high. I don't know if the reverse is true because I haven't looked into it on the other end of the cycle because right now we've been in a cutting cycle. I don't know what the other end is, but on the way up, that was usually a good idea. If you were a swing trader and we popped, in those next 2 days were usually a good opportunity. Bitcoin, we have like 20 minutes left till the imbalances, actually less than that. But Bitcoin got underneath 101 there while all this was happening. It's not a crazy capitulation like you've seen before in Bitcoin where it's like one of those hammer downs and it gets bought back up again. But the 100,000 level probably worth watching if we were to lose it. And then look for some kind of you saw this sort of happen when we broke 100,000 and lost 100,000 the first time, where there was that overnight move to like 92, and then anybody that was there to dip by it kind of got the reward. These things happen in BTC. So if we don't catch a bid here, Sometimes after this, you see one of those late night or afternoon moves, evening moves, where you do get a bit of a capitulation. This should be worth watching, especially if you're looking at Bitcoin. It's a 24-hour market. And I do remember, it was my physio guy that was telling, he was like, I went to physio that day. It was on, because it was on Thursday. And he's like, did you get any of that move when it came down? I'm like, what are you talking about? I wasn't even paying attention. And it dipped to 92 and came back in.
Right.
Crazier things have happened, and I think it's worth a look. Intel's at 1950.
Oh boy.
What's the all-time low?
17.
18?
You might as well just call it what it is. That's already down 70%.
18.5. See, this is a flat bottom break that's headed to this 18.5. It feels like. Like, look at the trend down. Like, talk about a short till it's not. Look at that 21 zone, man. Just dump. Tesla hit 435. This market continues to, like, it's just bleeding. You know, the only thing that I looked up, should not shock almost nobody, what's not that bad. Walmart hasn't broken its low of the day. So there you go. There's something that is not continuously breaking lows, and it's Walmart. I mean, if you look for names that I guess people are not afraid to buy the dips on, I guess maybe it's a little bit of Walmart. Reasonable PE, as long as the consumer is good. They're also an AI play as well. Anyone that tells you they're not is kind of speaking nonsense. The bad news is Walmart can't seem to break 96, so it's holding. I like anything holding a consolidation when the market is weak, but the next step usually is you got to break out the top. All right, where's AMC's probably going to get to 4. I'm now bidding in front of 4. Like, it is what it is. Should have shorted, and I bet you GameStop. See, the thing about, I know usually these things don't care what the market is doing, but there's always like a pressure point where like, who cares? Just dump it. Like, look at GME, you could have just had a 30 break down here. I thought for sure, as long as the market didn't do something stupid, that this could be a runner as it tried to break that 32 level. But you've got to be kidding me. Sometimes you just want to put on the reverse. That's why I'm slapping fail on it. This thing just dropped $2 here on GameStop. It's now down 7.5%. And we were talking about this breaking out an hour ago. This is what happens in the market.
All right, we're trying this bottom right now on the TQs. So let's see what winds up happening right now. Breaking through 83.50, we're gone. We were just kind of like, it's going to break, so we're going to be out of this in a minute. I was kind of joking about this 84 area. We just came right into it and broke. So that bottom right now is 83.50. I guess it's going to break. Looks like it's going to break right now. Wow, this is getting bad, man. The NASDAQ is now down 3% now today, so not good. No bueno right now in NASDAQville. What's up, Adara?
This part of the show is brought to you by eSignal. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite trading experience that will help you analyze, strategize, and capitalize. You can foresee profitable opportunities with the platform that you need. There's also infinite data, which leads to instant trading. Know where the market's moving before others with lightning fast data and charts that change the game. Customize and analyze markets faster your way. Better backtesting and scanning can help you predict the future by understanding the past. There's also reliable real-time data, up to the second market info from hundreds of global markets. There's everything you need, all in one place. Don't miss a beat. Execute your best trades now. Back to you.
Like, I'm just trying to, yeah, Sweet Christmas is right. What was that stat about the Dow?
The Dow, so if you go to the August low, the Dow just broke trend from the August low. So it's been an upward trend, and if you don't remember the August low, then go rewind. Go to August 6th, at some point in your leisure time, and watch the morning show that we did, and specifically pay attention to the chat and how many people were asking about what the limit down was for the futures that day, and how many people were like, is this Black Monday, is it panic? That was an obvious level. Come to the chart for a second, an obvious area, and anytime you lose an anchored VWAP here, you lose the trend line, like the Dow bleeding, loses trend, loses the 50 period, obviously, so it's not looking very good. Nasty. This is now gone, and this, I know it's only down 2%, but when you see that, it's obviously not going to be very good. I mean, the Qs are now down 3.33% as we continue to flush. And I'm going to show you the daily chart for this as well. The only difference is you haven't lost. I was pointing out the Dow because you put the same trend on the Qs, and the higher low has held. Like, the Qs aren't at the 50 period moving average. But you know what? I know what I'm going to be doing. The same thing I do when the Qs get to the 50 period every single time. Buy the dip and never sell it. And if it gets to the 200 period, I buy the dip again and never sell it because I never actually sell the Qs in the SPY. You just buy them.
Yeah, I mean, all-time high. The only thing you'll miss on that, of course, is opportunity cost. But I mean, who knows where that opportunity cost lies these days? Like, what are you going to do? Put the money into a stock? I mean, these stocks are wild. Okay, here we go. All right, baby. Now we're cooking with fire here on the futures. Let's get back to the upside right there. I mean, you guys might have heard me under my breath a little bit there. Now it comes back against me. That there might be some kind of like really capitulated bottom here. I mean, down 4%. I thought it might be worth a risk. So we just cleaned some out there on the upside. But if this breaks below this 82.50, which it's going to do right now, last chance, there it is. That's gone. So like I was really happy there. Okay, like look at this. Look at the extension here. The NASDAQ is getting absolutely
Tesla SSR.
locked right now.
Tesla's SSR now.
Yeah, to be short anything right now is to be right. So good job there on any shorts by anybody right now in this world. So congratulations on that one. Market really going to the downside. So we've given some back there now. But you know, looking at where can we last or where can we stop at right now? Yeah, there's that 50 period monster move back in on the futures there today. Embarrassing not to be short anything. I mean, this Roblox right now is probably, yeah, not even that much down actually from where we got out, but still down another 50 cents. Roblox making moves downside right there. Oh boy. I still want to try to catch this bottom, but that's been a disaster trying to do that so far. Palantir down to 71, which just puts it back to where it was Wednesday, but that was a bottom. Look at these TQs.
Affirm is down 12%.
They can't even find... Affirm, yeah, Affirm is yeah. But I mean, look at IWM, right? I mean, anybody that thought that this was a buy in IWM, that's a nice downside moving. There's so many things. XBI probably getting crushed today as well. How much is that down? I mean, anything that's interest rate sensitive right here.
Come to my quote board for a second.
There it is. Down 5% for XBI, XLI, everything downside. Yeah, you have it right there.
These are just the names that I regularly look at. It's not the entire market, but Affirm. I like to track. I like last from the open more than I like from the close as a day trader sometimes. 12%, almost 13% Affirm. Coinbase almost 10%. Broadcom 8%. Square 7%. Micron, ARM. I was saying ARM wasn't that crazy. Well, ARM's getting crazy. CCL. I mean, even like this is everybody, right? Like you're talking about travel names that are. It's not just. We're not just talking about tech names that are bleeding in here. Obviously, iBit's going to be to the downside. Alibaba's only 1%. Like, what is up? Well, I can promise you there's UVXY. That obviously makes sense. Netflix is up. Like, the biggest up move is UVXY, obviously, because volatility is going to be crazy, crazy strong. So this market, it's bleeding pretty badly. I guess AMC just tagged $4. It was either going to mean revert or it was going to get to $4. So it didn't mean revert because obviously we should have reloaded shorts on anything that we were short this afternoon, but didn't. So held till $4. I bet you GameStop is underneath $29 because it has been bleeding as well. So, oops, GameStop's that's a New York stock.
Yeah.
Stock. Doesn't matter. I mean, whatever. I'm now out of AMC. I don't think I'll put another trade on that bad boy. Who cares if it holds that $4 level? I'm not trying to catch that falling knife. We got 7 minutes till the imbalances.
Oh my God.
It'd be nice to see some buy imbalances because then at least you'd have a reason to get like a good 5-minute scalp trade going. But don't forget, Micron, they're the ones reporting. And after this, like I said, they really, don't guide poorly, Micron.
No. Don't even guide at all.
The good thing for Micron is, well, it just bled $7. So the barrier for it to have a good report just kind of changed a little bit here. Suddenly, it can do an expected move and not even have to break out on the daily chart. It can do it to resistance as opposed to trying to break resistance. But that's about the only positive you can get out of this for MU.
Oh boy. Like, I'm trying Palantir here, you know. So we're long now at 84. Going to be a good trade. Like I said, it's going to be my #1 stock today, no matter what happens here, really. Unless this just falls completely out. 70.50, I was thinking about a stop. All we've been doing is getting in and out here and then getting hit when it broke through 71. So we'll try it again right now. It looks pretty desperate right now. And I was just kind of thinking, like, what were some names that might have catalysts heading into the end of the week? And we talked about the S&P 500. But again, a name that is well overvalued, Palantir, going to get hit again in a... in a stronger rate environment. So, with the fact that right now it's looking like 100% no rate cut in January, that ain't good for the market. Okay, we just failed again up there at O's. Like, come on. I really want to see, like, basically that levitate. There it is. See that levitation?
$500 away, by the way.
$500 away from
100,000.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We talked about that with cryptocurrency. Could be a play there. I'm surprised that we didn't actually look into that a little bit more here. That should have been done instead of the market. IBIT down 6. Man, if I got that dream about doing that play, that might be now.
Remember that poll?
Right, yeah.
We did the poll.
Oh, yeah. People that held crypto.
We did a poll for our viewers, but people that held crypto. And our viewers, obviously, a little bit more of the trading community. I was still surprised that it was high as it was. But I'm talking about the other poll, the 150, we're going to 150,000 or 50,000 first. Well, I can tell you, a lot of people were doing something. I wasn't celebrating. I don't think I'd celebrate. I picked the over, and I don't think I would celebrate that till we break like 117 to 120. But if we lose 100,000 here again.
Palantir just broke again.
Like, it could happen. I'll tell you this much. If we do see 50,000 on Bitcoin, I'm buying again. Like, to me, the buy is either at 70 to 75. That's an obvious level. I think you look at the daily and you'll note that. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. We have 5 minutes till the imbalances. Looks like we're not going to get to 100,000. There's now buyers at the half. So like 100,500. You're seeing some buy action here. It's hard to tell on IBIT because 100,000 is just like 56 something. So the even dollar levels don't matter. But you're seeing some kind of a bid try to come into this market. Palantir's got to $70.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised I didn't sit there and buy that.
Tesla is the crazier one.
I tried to buy it. All right, so we're long now, 40 cents in the money on Palantir, but we tried, man. Oops, that's IBIT, sorry. We tried to buy that there, that dip. We started chasing it. Now we're long at $70.80 on Palantir. Tried to buy that dip. Missed it, but hey, man, 50 cents in the money right now for Palantir. So here we go. Okay. Whoa, okay, let's go. All right, now we're starting to get a little spicy with it. So we're out of 60% of this one already. We're trying to learn, let's get out some more right there at 28. We are learning our lesson right now on this market, right? Take advantage when it goes up and you have the right prices. You're not gonna hit everything all day, every day. So you're gonna have to just like try to take the good with the bad here, and there goes Palantir. Beautiful trade now back to this side. So let's get something out. There it is. We'll take some out at 49. Here, sorry about it. It's so hard to tell because it's all zoomed in, but there it is. Nice upside move. And like we said, we'll keep Palantir as a green stock for us today and be green, on the markets. Tough day. I mean, we gave some back, man. Like that TQ trade there, that was tough. Like we were in the money. We'll turn red on it after trying to catch it right there. So that was a tough one. Like we should have done a little bit better on that play. But again, good play there. And then just when I'm talking about red, it's not red by a lot, but it is red right there coming back in for this. Trying to get these bottoms, but I was looking at the liquidity. It was just like crazy right there. All right, where are we going to now? All right, let's just think the market bounces back a little bit. We were a little early on calling it. We were in many positions for long, but we had to get them up. So right now, almost 90 cents now in the money. Let's take another piece right here at 49. There it is on Palantir, and let's just let this continue to go higher here into the close, right? Palantir right now working out for us. We're long that name. Let's see if it can continue to be a profitable one. PLTR into the close.
So we got this from Adara, and we have 2 minutes until the imbalances come out. So, I mean, I'm not going to do anything until we see some imbalance numbers, that's for sure. But the S&P sees worst Fed day performance in 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just, I mean, it's wouldn't be terribly surprising. Obviously, not enough is likely to change. We almost got 2%. I'm talking about the ES, this S&P, which is now at 2.5%, by the way. But that is the worst since we go back to 2022. So obviously, this is not a good one. Someone just asked me in the chat, like, what do you think about Tesla being SSR? Well, I like that much more today when things tomorrow than today. Now, there might have been a capitulation candle at that 430, but unless you're already in it, like you look at that bottom, it didn't break a volume barrier, which is to me what I was looking for. Like the reason why Why this capitulation candle long there and not that one? Well, I want it making extraordinary volume. It had to be higher volume to take that shot. That's why I took the long here. You didn't really get that. Obviously, if I break that rule, it goes like $7. But again, I always want to see some kind of a volume spike there at some kind of a capitulation low. Tesla, it'll be short sell restricted, so the uptick rule is going to be effective tomorrow, which is a dangerous thing on Tesla because I think it gives more fuel to any upward trend. But remember, that's if there's an upward trend. Just because it's SSR doesn't mean it's going up tomorrow. It just makes it more difficult for short sellers to lean on the bid. That's what's going to be the case tomorrow on Tesla. It doesn't mean it automatically goes up. Less than 10 seconds to go, then we'll get the imbalances. The early look had nothing but forward to the sell side. So we'll see in about 1 or 2 seconds what these come out as.
All right, there we go, man. Palantir just $2. Like Palantir just ripped up like crazy, up to $72 right now in that imbalance, not in the imbalance, before the imbalance, as it is now out. So I'm actively trading. Why don't you go to Neil to have a look at that right now for those imbalances?
Palantir actually came out of sell, just to let you know. 2.7 to the sell side, 3.3 paired, so about half of the paired volume. Half of the volume has been paired off. 4 came out smaller than expected. Alphabet, 1.6 million to the sell side. Intel's a buy at 1.4 million. That's kind of surprising. Robinhood buy of 1.3 million. So it looks, I mean, that's not definitive in one direction or the other, but I just saw it's 2.4 million overall to the sell side. So the overall market's 2.4 million sell. That makes sense given that Google, I guess, is the biggest one there. But yeah, Palantir, that's a lot of open interest.
Boom.
I would expect that's going to be, I mean, on Friday, it's probably going to have 50 million open interest, not 6.
All right, look, now Palantir, we can officially say this will be the number one P&L stock here today. So good job there for Palantir. We finally got that bottom. That was a rough ride, man. You never really want to be doing that. That is for sure. But again, proper share sizing. This is why I'm here to tell you, that's what you have to do. Is so when you get shut down or when you get your trade gets shut down, you live to see another day. Look at all these buys down here, right? Only one stop right there back up to the upside. I mean, I was saying it not under my breath, literally aloud, that this was going to eventually find that capitulated bottom. Now, it didn't really see all these reds. It was pretty hard to see, but that's what you're looking for. The problem is it happened a little bit early, which is why we got sort of stopped out of the TQs. It didn't react immediately to that. It kept on going down. And then eventually now we've had about 6 or 7 bars now in a row, minute candle to the upside. So big trade there for sure heading into the close. So again, good one. Nice move to the upside here as we get less and less position here on Palantir. Let me just punch out some more there at 80. So there we go. Amazing, man. We just push punch offer. The thing goes down 15 cents. Out some more there at 74.75 with now only 7 minutes to go. I actually, on my way in today, I said to myself, I do not want to be, and we didn't get burned on anything. I was just thinking about this. We don't want to be caught in anything heading into those imbalances. So I still feel like today was a little different story, but heading into 350, it is risky to be holding anything against basically imbalances that you have no control over. So yeah, risky business right there, but $1.30 in the money here on PLTR.
And there is a halt on that nuke stock. If you're in this thing, it's probably not gonna open back up again. But it did not bleed into VWAP, but it is halted up. 52.50 is a tap for everyone out there that is watching it. This name is obviously insane. It went from $10 into 65, back to 40. So expect some fireworks in the aftermarket 100% on this bad boy. The market catches a good bid. Micron just jumped going into their earnings. Yeah. Remember, this is the big earnings name tonight. It's Micron, and pretty much that is it. Obviously, there's a lot to cover with this market move that we had, so stay tuned. We'll be on with Adara, and every single ETF, all the major stocks are going to have put in some levels today and made some trades that are going to give you good information for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you have Fed tops, Fed bottoms, it's so similar to an earnings move. It's so similar to like a big news event. It could be like a short seller report. Some of these bottoms are bottoms on a short seller report or bottoms on earnings. So you want to pay close attention to them, especially if that's what you're trading. And I think one of the more important ones is is the Russell. You know, the Russell, let's be real here, you can panic all you want about the NASDAQ and the Dow and all that stuff, but the Russell, for a lot of this move, looked like the worst of the indices, at least to my eyes. Anyway, so yeah, just watch out for that. I think it should be on your radar. I've only ever traded the Russell day of or day after Fed and never in between. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm going to be buying, as soon as the show ends, I'm going to be buying the diamonds. So just heads up on that one. We'll be buying some Dow right at the end of the show. All right, so there it is. Palantir, yeah. I mean, well worth the risk, well worth everything right there now on this as it continues to go upside. Now $1.50 in the money and cementing the trade here today for PLTR. Here we go, coming into the close. 355 is now. Nvidia with a big sell. Nvidia stays a sell. That must mean it's probably, okay. So I thought it was going to be a sell there into the close because we did have a big sell imbalance. Let me just get rid of the BRKR. Those are old quotes. You want to see the live ones? So there it is. So it's TLT. Ooh. 89. I got to get my guy back on here, ASAP. All right, Nvidia downside right now. Palantir continues to sell, which is amazing, considering that we're basically out of that name. So wow, good job there, Palantir, holding on to the sell, yet going higher. IONQ there. We talked about it. We actually got the question of the week from traders. Find it. I don't know when it's going to be out, but question of the week that we've done. I've asked it. We got a trade question on quantum. So get ready for that. I talked about QTUM. And do you know what is maybe I'm burying the lead a little bit here. You know what a 2% holding is in QTUM? Micro strategy. So QTUM, get a quantum play, get a little bit of MSTR in your life, down 8%.
Why would that be in it?
Quantum? Oh, because I think it's just crypto and I don't know, maybe MSTR, maybe it's an old holding. But there it is, downside right there. Based on my research, they still have this.
No, I believe
I mean, I don't know, maybe. Yeah. The problem is, man, nowadays when you're looking at the internet, it's like, I don't know.
No, I believe you. And it probably has something to do with what they originally did. Because everyone forgets that MicroStrategy was it was a real company. It is still a real company. It's just it wasn't a big Bitcoin proxy before. Like they were...
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that it's probably an old holding, maybe.
And that would make some sense. So it's 357, and I remembered that I should be at the desk, or at least be getting up to the desk. Just very, very quickly. At 355, usually things flip. Nvidia went to a sell of 1.7, TLT is a sell, and Ford is a buy. So Nvidia flipped to a sell of 1.7 million. I'm going to get on up to the desk. Man, we're going to have a lot to review. The NASDAQ and the ES. Well, the ES specifically with its worst Fed day in 2 years, percentage-wise. There's going to be some volatility upcoming.
Down 3.3. Yeah, we were lower than that.
This NASDAQ wants to go. The ES almost 3% down. This is wild action.
The ES is 3%. All right, yeah, good one.
We'll see you guys at the desk in a minute or two.
You want to stay tuned for the market recap show because Neil already hinted at this. There could be some moves here after hours. Like, honestly, did MSTR just gap there? Yeah, Bitcoin just flew, everybody. Bitcoin just made a move, I feel like. Wasn't it just breaking through 100 there? Hold on a second. Let me just, before I say the wrong thing, let's go have a quick little look. So remember this morning, and I said this, and I looked over to Joe, and I kind of felt a little bad. And it was because I said, you know what? I'm thinking short on crypto. I've sort of dug this in, and now I'm going to feel smarter than I am, because I had said that we do not want to be long this as long as we're underneath the 200-period moving average. Well, boom goes the dynamite right there to the downside. If you stuck, and again, we can't predict anything here. All we can do is put on our trading hat and make trades and judge it on something. We had done the work for you. We had talked about here we're underneath. There's the move down, goes all the way back to the 9th, right? There's the break higher. Here's the extension higher. Now we trade underneath. Let's stay short. Wow, this is a Bitcoin buy opportunity. Forget about buying the diamonds, man. Let's get into that account, man. Let's hack that ledger. Let's get going and buy some more BTC tonight. Nice move to the downside. That's what I'll probably be doing. But there it is, Bitcoin down 5% today, and it is your favorite ETF. Shout out to everybody watching, by the way, right now. I'm going to do a quick little look at this. How many do we got? 7,500 into the close. That is a chicken dinner winner. 1,000 likes. Guys, if you're still watching this, hit the like button and make sure with less than a minute left right now, you join Neil and Adara on the desk where probably, I don't think there's a guest today. We don't need no guest. It's Micron earnings. I like Micron breaking that 106, but look at that 106. Looky right there. All right, I got to... You know what? All right. We'll take $1 whatever there on that Palantir play. There it is, out of the last piece there, 71.70s or whatever it was just at. We hit offer enter. Oh, wow. U.S. markets are closing low. What do you guys want to look at on the close? Let's look at Tesla right there. Neil said Tesla went SSR. Yeah, it did. Look, down 8% right now. Wow, SSR bounce for Tesla was $20, by the way, right there. So good move there. Tesla's bottom was 430. 44. Okay, where's the right? I got to get this. Countdown right now with only 10 seconds left. What's up, Adara? Red. So tis the season to a red day. Adara forever winning on that one. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Not only is it red, Adara, it's a very nice outfit. We like that outfit. We're celebrating here. It's the festive season. And on that note, tomorrow, I'm not here. So everyone that's here to cheers, everyone like right now is like, yeah, buddy. It's Adobe. It's Adara. It's Obi and Neil tomorrow. But it's Micron right now. I don't want to take for too long. The reason why that came to my mind is I'm at a Christmas holiday extravaganza. I have no idea what it's called, but something like that tomorrow with my kids. So my wife is already regretting it, but I'm looking forward to it. So the parents are coming. We'll figure this out tomorrow. But hey, Neil is ready to go right now. It is your recap show. Get ready, man. Micron. I mean, can something save the market? Let's hope it's Micron right now. Fabian's going up there. Maybe we are not ready, Ramin. Yeah, okay. All right, you want me to throw to Adara? Okay, all right, then let's go over now. Wow, there goes Micron. We got to give it to you. Micron's $98 and getting whack city right now to the downside. Whack-a-mole with Micron right now. See you later, Chipville.
Hello, we are going to be taking a look here at, oh my gosh, Micron, which is down a cool 7.5%. These earnings, I was seeing an ETA of 4:05 p.m.
95 now.
We have Lennar too after the bell.
No, we're still falling. This is getting really.
I have nothing on this.
Derry doesn't even have the numbers yet. We just tagged 91. There isn't a bid right now on Micron. $90 it just got to. This is a hefty flush here, especially we were expecting it at 4:05 for Micron earnings. You look at this on the daily chart, like we just blew through support like it wasn't even there. And these August lows are pretty, oh my goodness, sorry. The September lows are going to be in play if we drop any further. So that is looking nasty, especially given I don't see any numbers yet. I know you haven't heard anything. The market is, look, this, like we said, the worst Fed day in 2 years. We got, as expected, quarter point cut, but this is nasty. Yeah, here comes, okay, now we got the numbers here.
I can give you those. So we did beat here on adjusted earnings per share, $1.79 versus $1.76 expected. Sales were a miss, $8.709 billion versus $8.721 billion expected. And we've seen this season especially, even if you beat on EPS, if you miss on sales, that tends to lead to a sell-off. So Micron basically following the trend here. When I see any other numbers from the report, I will let you know. Also though, Palantir, it's worth noting here, expanding its Army Vantage partnership with a $618.9 million contract. Kind of small potatoes for PLTR, but another contract to be aware of when I see any more Microns numbers. Oh, we just got some guidance. Let's pull it up.
Yep,
Q2 revenue guidance. Okay, that's also probably why we're not doing that well. Q2 revenue guidance between $7.7 billion and $8.1 billion. We were looking for $9 billion, so that is...
No, that can't be
a
right.
miss, puts it lightly. Adjusted earnings here, $1.33 to $1.53 versus $1.92 expected. I'm going to read through the report to make sure these numbers are accurate, but it's worth noting...
That's a monster miss.
Neil, I was seeing, though, they're expecting Q2 to be really bad for Micron, so this actually could be real. I'm going to read through the report, and I will give you guys some confirmation. They usually have the guidance baked into the report, but in the meantime, I will throw it back to you.
No, that's a monster miss on both the EPS and the revenue guidance for Micron. Just to reiterate, you're expecting 192 and you get midpoint 14? Like, that's insanity. The expected move on Micron was 13%. It's down 19% right now. We're at $86 on so then the guidance was it wasn't just bad. I mean, that guidance is crap. Like it is what it is. I was about to tell you that maybe we get some candy cane action and we get a bit of a bounce here, put some green on there, and you could catch a bid off of support. But right now it is all trick and it is all red. I mean, the market, you can see what the quote board looks like here for the ETFs. It's all red. Like everything is red. This was a sell everything rally. You can't miss guidance that badly and try to catch a little bit of a bid. Now, obviously, all caveats aside, we'll probably talk about this. If it can hold support for a couple of days in a row, give it the old 2-3 day rule, and maybe you can catch some kind of a bid. But wow, that is looking absolutely nasty. I mean, you look at aftermarket Nvidia just made a fresh low as well. So we talk about rising tide can lift all ships. Well, in this particular case, everything is continuing to flood, not looking very good. And as I said, everything made a drop in the afternoon. There wasn't much. If you want to look for where the strength was, like maybe you go look at volatility, because it was the VIX that was the king of any long trade that you might have had this afternoon. Pretty much everything else just continuing to fall in here. So sympathy play, all the other chip names falling. I mean, you're catching a little bit of a bid here. Not much, like 30, 40 pennies. Most of that has to do with this gigantic double bottom here on Micron, going back to September lows. It held about 84, 85, and then you go all the way back into the August lows, holding the same level. Well, you hold the August lows. That's when everyone thought that was Black Monday. So if you don't hold those levels, what are you going to hold? 20% down on Micron. Cannot state that enough. 20% down. I love it. Great community and great chat, but Jared Tweedle, you can see who's skinny dipping when the tide goes out. Oh, you're not wrong about that one. Sometimes you get exposed, and certainly when the tide goes out, I like that line. You can see who's skinny dipping. Well, there's a few longs on this name that are caught a little bit naked, I think.
Nuts.
Wow.
And the thing is, too, is like I said, I was expecting a little bit of weakness here for Q2 guidance potentially. We did have a Wedbush analyst who basically called it, saying there's a really good chance Micron will beat this quarter, but they'll likely miss for Q2. So when I read the Q2 guidance, I was like, well, this could be real. But yeah, again, just because this is unbelievably weak, I really do want to emphasize how bad these numbers are. Q2 revenue guidance between $7.7 billion and $8.1 billion versus $9 billion expected. Adjusted EPS between 133 and 153 versus 192 expected. So I guess in a way, they're kind of front-running bad Q2 earnings, but just giving us horrible Q2 guidance. But still, not a great look. Shout out to Wedbush, though. They totally called it. Yeah, that's nuts.
I think this is, when you get days like this, like there was a point in the afternoon show, I was like, I'm not fighting longs anymore. I was looking at some long-term levels, like where can I pick things up? I was looking at ARM because I wanted to add to that. Then I remembered Square was making that break on the daily chart and the weekly chart. And I look back at this, it's like, oh, if I like this block, you come to my chart for a second. If I liked block, and you could put a weekly on this, but the daily tells you most of the justice, how long it held consolidation, finally breaking out above the 90 level, still consolidating here. You got the 50 and the 200 period. If I like this has been a nice reversal, higher lows, you're going to get the 50 period tomorrow and maybe the 200 period if there's any kind of deep dive. That's the kind of thing I want to look for anytime we get these capitulation type days. I was talking about ARM. Is ARM going to lose the 200 period moving average? Like, it's managed to hold on to that pretty well. If it does, I'm a buyer at 100 all day, every day. Otherwise, we close this week above the 200 and I'm looking for a buy opportunity. I think that's a lot of times what you want to do when everyone else is panicking. What are the stocks that I wanted to buy on the next dip? Maybe I missed it the last time the market had a dip. Maybe I just like it and I wanted to add in my portfolio. But that's where my mind starts going when you see reactions like this, whether it's to Powell, whether it's to the Micron earnings that we just saw. I think Tesla, which I have up right now, is a different story because its move has been so parabolic. You're not at any levels that I would necessarily be a buyer. But Tesla will be SSR tomorrow, down 10%.
Yeah,
at its absolute bottom, look at the acceleration in this move. Like the acceleration when this lost the 445, like you already thought it was bad, and then about just before 330, like it lost a bid and went another $18 to the downside.
Take care.
I mean, insanity, and it's right back at those lows. So again, you got to try to find when you get these moves back in, like what do you like, what do you not like? Tesla, to me, when I pull up this daily chart, like nothing about this says I wanted at some of those levels. They're there, but I start looking at some other names out there, and one of those that I've been looking for an opportunity into, Caterpillar. This is a holding where it's bounced a couple of times off the 200 period. And I think decent chance it tested. Now, this has broken it a couple times.
Yeah.
All it has to do is try to bounce, show me one of these reversals, like zoom in. If it does one of these, go red, 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 or just a break and then a close above, then I'm going to buy. This is a stock that I like buying on dips in my long term, and this is what I'm trying to do when you get this kind of a capitulation type move. Get that shopping list out for your long term. You can do what you want. You don't have to fight the trend trading, but get that shopping list out for your long term. There's certainly some opportunities out there. John C., Intel, a good dip buy. I mean, I don't mess with that one anymore. I think a lot of things have to change for them, and I don't mind taking shots at it as a trade, but in the long term, I'm not there yet. Micron gets interesting because of this. Remember that we were talking about the August low and then the September low? Like, if it holds on to this level, I know the guy's bad, but is a pure trade? Like, we're already starting to see that first level hold. Like, we're back at $93. Like that level that we just showed on the daily chart, that's now held. It held obviously twice in the daily. It goes right into that all red, and look at the buying start to come in at 86. This is why you go out and do the work. Now, this is very different, taking a day trade in the afternoon and just trying to get a scalp trade off this level, take your profit and run, and liking it fundamentally for your long term, because ultimately the guide was poor here. But for other types of names where nothing has fundamentally changed except for this market sentiment, then I want to look for that shopping list. For sure. There was one other name reporting.
Lennar.
Yeah, we have Lennar, but we're not expecting Lennar until, is it 425?
I was seeing 425, yes.
Yeah, so we got some time for Lennar to report.
Or 430.
We're just digesting this Micron move for sure. If you guys have any questions, let us know.
430.
There was a super chat that I want to get to, and apologies for not getting to it. But we had a few in the afternoon show. But Nick W., crazy day. You shorted the Qs and Riot during the speech. Bought Viking here for a long-term swing. Thanks for all the info that you do. Shout out to you. Great look. I mean, anything you had short, unless you shorted the absolute bottom, fantastic if you had it during the speech. But I wanted to go to Viking on that. So Viking Therapeutics. I think the thing about Viking to keep in mind, if you are trading this, or if you're ever in this, one of the big opportunities for them is as a potential takeout bio candidate. Because, and again, you do your own research on this, but if they're ever going to get their oral to market, then they're going to need to raise a significant amount of money. And there's either that or somebody buys them out that's bigger and then has the cash to be able to take it to market. So that's one of the opportunities that it has. And it's obviously, you can see it's under the 50, it's under the 200 period moving average, and it's trending down. But like this, to me, this is one of those like hero home run type of setups for Viking. And don't get me wrong, I like it. I'm not there yet that it's at a buy zone. I think it's starting to bleed into some levels where I don't want to say load the boat, but like for what I would take, and everyone has their own risk, for what I would take for a swing trade or a shot play, if it gets down into the quarters, that's a load the boat zone. Like underneath $30, take that shot and be like, hey, if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. But I'm looking for one of those, 5x moves from there. Like you get back up to $100 and break it. Like that's what I would be shooting for. But remember, a lot of that would be juiced into they could get another buyer. It's a very, very difficult game to get something through multiple phases and then also be able to bring a product to market. So good look there on Viking. I think it's worth taking a look at, but that is a hefty downturn. I'm not at the point where I want to be buying yet. And you also said that you shorted Riot. If you shorted anything adjacent to crypto, your bank. All these charts look the same. And on a day like today, like I'll have to fail on myself because I like three things. I like two things short. I was short AMC for another reason. It had nothing to do with this market move. I liked Rivian today short, and I liked Marvell today short. And so I look over, and the reason I hit the fail on myself was never working my way in to the short of either of those in the afternoon. And Marvell, obviously, like hindsight's going to be 20/20. But if you put up why this was an obvious short to me, is you pull up the 15-minute simple continuation play. Like this is what it did yesterday, and this is it trying to go higher in the pre-market, and then holding, doesn't even retest resistance. It tries to hold afternoon resistance. It fails it. It failed VWAP. And then you just get a continuation break the bottom. Not necessarily something which is strong going red, but something that is weak continuing to stay red. And it was a similar story, like Rivian failed $15, couldn't get back to prior close, dropped down, lower highs the entire way. Like when this breaks, like look at it, broke 14, you get 13 down here. It's always difficult. You come in with a plan of action, which is on Fed days, what's been the best thing to do for the last couple of years. Buy the dips. That's been the best trade. That's what you lean into. So if you don't want to do that, or if you're going to do that, then obviously in strong stocks, you're probably not going to be looking short. What you can do is say, what is already weak? What is the stock that I would be comfortable shorting under normal circumstances, regardless of Fed? And then look for it on those, because it's going to be easier to not try to pick a bottom on a stock you already have a bias short on. That's why you want to have some ideas. I like this stock for long. I like this stock for short as a day trader. Because then when something like today happens, and I should have done a better job of this myself, I can lean into that short. I've lost shorting things on a Fed day before, but at least it's always been something that I deem to be to not be a very good, strong stock that day. I mean, I could say crap, but I didn't want people to think that I think, Marvell's crap.
Yeah, that's fair.
Marvell is a good stock. Marvell is a good company. I just mean that it is incredibly weak for now 2 days in a row, and all you had to do is look for the continuation. And this is not going to help any chip name, what you're seeing in Micron. Micron, by the way, still holding a bit of a bid here, holding this 90.
I just saw a note about Micron.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're projecting that the sales of their products to China headquartered customers will be concentrated in the high end of the customer's portfolio for the remainder of 2025. So basically just talking here about sales of products to China headquartered customers. Not really sure what to make of that statement. It's kind of vaguely worded, but the more I see it, I will definitely let you guys know. Also, Lennar, I said 425. I apologize. It is 430, but I will definitely be following you guys there once I get that information. LEN. We are expecting for Lennar $10.16. Sorry, $10.16 billion. Earnings per share here, $4.18. So revenue of $10.16 billion. Previous move for Lennar was down 5.3%. The expected move is 6.1% in either direction. But I mean, Micron definitely overtook its expected move, which was 12.7%.
Yeah, wow. And I just saw in the chat here, with Bigfoot in the chat, your MU buy the dip order was short, or you missed it. I think you missed by 7 cents. We've all been there, And I say this as someone that's traded for a long period of time. Anytime you miss a bid by a couple of cents here or there, and this is even more the case, like if you get wicked out, like you get close to the low if you're long, or maybe close to the high if you're short, and you make the high or the low of the day is you're out, and then it goes in your direction after you've gotten out. The thing that you want to remember is, okay, you're going to put an L on, and you have a P&L red trade. But you transacted at the right price, at the right time, in the right direction. So the only thing that's wrong was they have an execution strategy problem, which most traders, you'll never, that's something you're always developing, but you're looking at the right thing, at the right place, at the right time, and all you got to do is hone your execution strategy to maybe widen the stop if you can, maybe with less shares, but have a different entry rule, like a mean reversion, and not catch the falling knife. That's all it is. So I want to shout out to you for having a good level, and that's an important thing. And a lot of traders will be like, oh, I lost on this stock, that's it. No, you had everything right about it except for just that execution plan, which we should always be refining. And it works both ways, everybody, because you can make money on a trade where you did not follow your plan, and you should not be jumping to celebrate when that happens, because the market will penalize you in the long run for sure. So just one more thing on this Micron, it is starting to come back in, but let's remember why it bounced. It was just that level on the daily. For anyone catching Micron missing on their guidance miss on both revenue and EPS was disgusting. Yeah. Bouncing off 85, 86 on the daily here. So I think you're in the right spot for sure to try to catch those bids. Adara, looking at some of the things that bled today, and look, obviously none of this looks really good. You can see uranium. we didn't mention this too much, but the financials. So XLF lost the 50-period moving average, break of long upward trend. Okay, we already know TAN and URA. The energy names have already been bad. XLB, materials. Materials had already broken the 50-period and just lost support from the middle of the year, right? Like this is June support that we've lost and broken down through. So you think we're just picking on everything? Look at healthcare. I understand what's going on with UNH, but this has lost support and is now underneath our. Forget about August. Forget about June. You're underneath April support and going lower. So it doesn't look that bad when you pull out the cues, but there are quite a few things that you can look at here that have completely bled and are looking nasty. Well, I'll tell you another something here. Oh, the channel in silver. Okay, technically silver is held the 200-period moving average, but if you zoom this one out, and I know some people look at gold more closely, but what has been a monster channel on silver, you just lost the trend support and are at the 200. So this, another thing which if we don't make a short-term rebound in the next couple of days, then you can be in a world of hurt. And again, sometimes you want things to calm down or look for a buying opportunity. If we hold this 200-period moving average, I like silver, but it's a big if. When you pull it out on a weekly chart, the other reason why I think you give it some room on a weekly, this still looks pretty solid on silver. Like this looks much different when you flip the weekly chart. There's your 50-period. Your prior highs, you're just retesting them. So everything is always about your time frame. When you're looking for a dip buy, like if you're holding it forever, then maybe you should be looking at a weekly chart. You know, if you're swing trading, well, then maybe you want to look at daily. Look at an hourly chart, right? Like you see me, swing trading. If you're day trading, that's why I pull up a 15-minute chart and a daily chart. But if you're swing trading, you know, look at that hourly chart. Longer term, make sure you got a weekly chart up for sure. And at the end of the day, like I don't like buying something, and I'll go back to this daily. Like, yeah, sure, any buy the dip if you hold forever and the stock is generally going up is going to be good. But if you break a trend line that has existed, and this is from, like this really started holding it right in here. This is where it's coming from. That's like February of this year. Like you spend almost the entire year holding a general trend line, and the 200-period, this is from March. Well, if you lose that, I'm not rushing to buy something that loses that. If it can regain and consolidate above, great. But why? It might give you an opportunity to buy it down at like 25. I'm just pointing out silver as an example. But yeah, the VIX is spiking for everybody. Certainly this is going to be a big thing for sure, watching volatility and how far it does go here at Dara. But what's crazy about it is we joke about this oftentimes on the show. Adara, now when you wear red,
Yes.
sometimes we have down
Every
days.
time I've worn this red jacket with any other red outfit, it has done this.
Over 1.5% down,
Yes.
usually. Today, the NASDAQ was 3 points down. And it was a Fed day.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, maybe we shouldn't wear red on a Fed day.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of saying this to Sean off screen yesterday after the recap. I was like, you know what? I'm torn because I really had two options for today. I had a red dress and a green dress. And like I said, I'm doing laundry right now. We're waiting for things to dry, whatever. So we had two options. And I was going to go with the green dress this morning. And I was like, you know what? I will, like, this is a sweater dress. I'll be warmer. I walk to work. So I chose to go red regardless. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, I said to this to Ramin too. I actually thought the market would go up because we thought we're going to get that 25 basis point cut. I will prove the indicator wrong. Either way, like it'll be funny no matter what happens. And then I do apologize because the indicator does what it does, and we had this sell-off. But I promise I am like in no way, you know, pulling the strings. I am not the puppeteer over here. Shout out to that Pusha T song. I'm just over here.
Ooh, I like the reference.
Being wearing red, wearing outfits.
So I have a question for you, Derek.
Yes.
Because I know I'm an old man. I don't have the pleasure of like being young with an idea to take some shots. And most of the dip buys that I've shown here on a panic day, they've been like, you know, I'm talking things like Caterpillar, like, okay, how sexy is that? Like those aren't things that are going to go 5x. My question to you is, if we are if we are getting into a pullback in this market, you're young. Is there anything out there that you're looking at a dip by that you think is like, one of those 5Xers or 10X? Like, what's on your radar? I know for a lot of people, they're like, oh, I just want to buy Nvidia when it goes down. We've given a few things here today that are at pretty key levels. I'm just curious, because I think you should always have a shopping list, or really generate a shopping list when we start to have down moves or big down days. Anything on your radar?
That's a really good question. It's hard too because a lot of what I day trade, as you might know, is a skosh expensive type of tickers. So they're not really things that you're necessarily going to be wanting to buy on dips or expecting that 10x move. However, there is a level on the daily chart in Starbucks that I find a skosh interesting.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, we actually broke below this level kind of violently today. So I don't know if we're gonna. Yeah, I got wicked out of that short. So yeah, good times. There will be an X post incoming. Don't worry.
You were short. Hold on. Damn.
Yeah. It's all good. So anyway, so this 80s level on SPUX, look, we kind of closed around there, just above there yesterday. Then, as of today, when we broke below that level, we really broke down. So I do kind of like this 80 level on SPUX. We can test that and come back up. I think it could be an interesting look. And the other reason I say Starbucks is because Brian Nickel knows what he's doing. Is he a little eccentric? Absolutely. Do I think it's kind of weird that he's trying to bring back the Sharpies and try to ban mobile orders or at least decrease mobile orders? Sure. But the man knows what he's doing. He did a great job with Chipotle. Even his weird shrug about adding extra guacamole couldn't stop Chipotle. So I really do think that he could potentially do something to Starbucks. Now, do I want to get involved right away? No. But if we come back above, maybe we retest that 90-80 area. Maybe my interest is peaked.
Adara, I don't want to, again, Sean and I have a friend from when we were young. I've known Sean. Sean and I have known each other since high school. We have a friend from high school.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into the whole story because it's not, it's his business. But I can tell you this much with regards to the CEO, Mr. Nickel, that he has experience working with him.
Really?
And I'll never forget when he said this to me, that he was inspired by how strong of a leader he was, that when he's making a move from one job to another, it changed what he was looking for. He wasn't looking for what's the company I wanted to look for. He was looking for who is the leader in person that I want to look for.
Wow.
Because and that's how inspirational Nickel was. And again, this is someone I know that worked with him. And that's sometimes that's your alpha. Like if you like this long-term investment because you believe in the leader. Like how many times have you heard me say Gensler's got to go for Intel? And anyways, that's a bad stock. But
or Gelsinger?
Gelsinger, not Gensler. Sorry, Pat Gelsinger, not Gensler. Sometimes I get the wrong G's. But as far as the shopping list goes, like Starbucks, it's been bleeding a little bit. If you like this one for the long term, they're probably not going anywhere. And you're getting close to that 200 period moving average, which, that's a pretty big level. There was a super chat. I know we only have a few minutes to go here. It was Drops Trade. Thank you for the super chat, Drops Trades. Bribe for Adara to wear green for the rest of the year. LOL. And then Manfred Mann said, wouldn't she disappear? Now, I can state, because I know this to be true, and I want to shout out to our production crew and our IT staff and everyone that put it together, you can actually wear green in front of our green screen.
I do it often.
Yeah, it's one of those where it works absolutely fine. To the point where it was frustrating. I used to have a green hoodie that I would keep here, and I kept it here just in the off chance I could play a joke and wear it in front of the green screen. But because that doesn't work, I just took it home. I thought I could get some laughs out of it, but we have a green screen that allows you to wear green, and it works just fine.
Yeah, no, I have that one blazer pant combo that's like almost the same kind of green as the green screen, also the same green as your sweater, and I wear it. And the first thing Sharif says when he comes in, he says, oh my God, you're going to blend in. But no, it works. Like, shout out to Fabian and Ramin, and also Andre, newest member of our production team, for totally killing it and just knowing how to make those things work. Also, we got another super chat related to my outfit. Thank you very much to Hey Davis for the $10 super chat. Adara, please get more green outfits, green nail polishing eyeshadow. You know what I mean? I'll see what I can do. I do own actually a shocking amount of green, but I find for whatever reason the quote-unquote Adara indicator has a much higher accuracy rate. We're talking 100% accuracy when I wear the red. Green, I think it's like above 50%, but yeah, I think that the red, for whatever reason, tends to work a little bit better.
For the record, everybody, we're just having fun with this. At the end of the day, like most of what I think people should gather from a day like today is at least what I think you should is, don't try to fight the trend after Powell hits the podium. Oftentimes that'll get you into pressure. You saw how he hits the podium, we made lower lows, and we continue to bleed. get the shopping list out for your long term, especially if you're young, because buying the dips generally is a good thing in the market. Long run, the markets go up. Do your research, start to build a list if you haven't done so. What looks good to you? What is enticing to you? Like those types of things matter on a day like today. But it doesn't matter what Adara wears, although I'm just saying.
It's just for fun.
What's crazy is, Paul, I'm actually not superstitious. I played baseball for a very long time, and baseball players are usually superstitious characters. I was never one. The only time that I had a superstitious, I guess people, when I ran track in university, some of my teammates would call me superstitious because of the routine that I had before I would start a race, when they say on your mark. But that had nothing to do with superstition and all to do with mental focus. I would do exactly the same thing and sort of get myself into this like weird, my lane exists and nobody else around me exists. And to get myself into that spot had nothing to do with superstition, although it looked superstitious when I was doing it. But shout out to everybody in the chat. I know we just got it. We got a member here. We had a member from USA. Welcome to Trader TV Live. You've now found the right trading community. And I don't just say that because we have an unbelievable team here. I say that because our community is the best in the trading community. What you're going to find here for everyone tuning in on a Fed day is you're going to find a lot of knowledgeable traders, not just us talking about the markets and showing you our trades live, but you have a great community. We got questions about wash trading and tax implications of first in, first out. And before we could even answer them, I saw people answering that question for our viewers within the chat. And that's what we do around here. Like everyone's here to support everybody, try to find some good ideas, try to learn every single day. And on that note, it is 4:30. We are going to get ourselves out of here, but there's something we do before that.
Yes.
And that's the roll call. And if you want to do the roll call, you got to get your name in the chat.
We also have Lennar earnings.
Oh, Lennar earnings. Before we get to that, let's get Lennar. They just dropped.
Yes. So the thing is, too, like I said, I'm going to read this with the caveat of sometimes there's different earnings estimates. But sorry, my chart's a little funky right now, so mine might not work. Yeah,
That's
thank you
good.
for going to Neil's. Yeah. So basically, their net earnings per diluted share $4.06. We were expecting $4.18. So that would appear to be a miss. But again, sometimes estimates are different. Now, we were expecting revenue of $10.16 billion. Total revenue coming in at $9.9 billion. It appears that they missed on both top and bottom line, but I am unsure. Also, I don't know if we got to this super chat from Drop Trades, but thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Make the whole staff wear green elf outfits for the rest of the year. LOL. Also, yes, we were right. They did miss here, both top and bottom line Lennar. Adjusted earnings of 403 versus 416 expected. Sales 9.95 mil versus 9.95 billion versus 10.08 billion expected. So both of our earnings names today were kind of a dud, but I guess it's now going to be roll call time. So guys, Get your name in there. I'll let Neil cue it all up like he always does.
And that move is obviously bigger than the expected move, but shout out to all of our viewers. Before you get your name in the chat, you have to be a subscriber to do so. So make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe, do it right now, and then type a message, and always type a message of thanks. We have a great community. Thank someone that gave you advice in the chat. Thank Fabian and Ramin on the ones and twos all day, making us look and sound good. Thank Andre for all the fantastic content. We've shot some more videos that are going to come out social media answering your questions over the weekend. Thank Sean for getting the banger trades pretty much every single day and taking those shots with energy. Thank Adara for dropping the news pretty much all day, every single day, in taking over from Brennan, which is filling in some fantastic news. Thank him. Thank the Midday Boys, Sharif and Joseph, the Bash Brothers. Most importantly, though, thank Bears vs. Bulls, the best moderator out there. And we couldn't do it without you, Bears vs. Bulls.
Yeah.
Get your name in the chat. I'll let you take it on over. It's roll call time.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Bears vs. Bulls, Neil, Sean, Brendan, Andre, Fabian, Ramin, Sharif, Joe. Opie's going to be in tomorrow, so oh boy, we'll probably be said a couple times here. Also, everyone's saying Nuke apparently is up yet again. The funniest comment I saw in the chat today was
Is it really?
Yeah, it was Nuck a few buck, but it was like the NUKK. Shout out to Crime Mob because legitimately that's one of my favorite songs. I love a good pun. Thanks, Radera, says Seeking Delta. We have Tony, Muy Castano. We have Peter, Jan, Random Odyssey, while they're coming quickly. Marie L. Oliver Katsaros, God Emperor Almighty Godfather, Sebastian, Future Movies, JG Computers, For Profit, Mun on Monday, Frisky Supreme, Bears vs. Bulls, Edward Fredo, Pietra, Jean Cohn, Tom H. You, Thrill, Hey Davis, T.S. Booger, Mauricio Romano, The Piper, Mohammed, Dixie, Rolo, DeRolohe. We got Crazy Carl, we got Donkey Trader. We have Dilwar Singh, Derek Thompson, Boot Burner, Robert Liu, West, y'all. 3 Kings 22, Jimmy Joe Smith, 4X AU, Adam DeLuce, Warren, Natoya Thompson, Ronaldo. We're going to stop there. Thank you guys so much for being here with us every single day. And guess what? There's even more tomorrow, including a slew of pre-market earnings names. A lot of them are kind of in the grocery space, and some of them are kind of spready. So I'm excited.
Ooh, that's what we like to see. So remember, even though the market was down today, Lennar is getting bled, Micron got bled. There's always a trading opportunity. Why? Because you can go in either direction, and we'll be right there to give them to you. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, post-Fed trade, post-Micron earning trade. We're Trader TV Live. We'll see you tomorrow, 8:30. Bye, guys.
See ya.